Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says, "Oh."
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
You can't say you've made it to the weekend until you actually get to the weekend, but we're almost there, so that's almost good enough. Good morning. Eric Reeser, Ryan Baker, Jacob Reimer leading you for the next 3 hours till you get to the weekend, or at least get a little bit closer. Morning, boys. How we doing?
Reese, we are doing well today on this Friday. Excited to be on this side with you today.
It's colder in here.
I like that.
Jacob, how you doing in there?
I'm excited because we got a Game 7.
Yeah, they say those are the two best words in sport. And for the NBA Finals, for the Stanley Cup Finals, it's a lot to ask the casual fan to go 6-7 games and to spend all of that time devoted to paying attention to 4 quarters, 3 periods. And I think the most important thing, and the numbers probably won't show this for the NBA Finals, but the moments is really what you look for, is in big moments, do big players step up, or are big moments created? Or even with social media, are viral moments created from games like this? And certainly to the update anchor's point of Pascal Siakam, and before Game 6, ESPN showed the Pacers in a huddle before they went out to the floor at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and his eyes rolled into the back of his head, much like The Undertaker. Then he proceeded to have a double-double on the Oklahoma City Thunder, as you heard, the Pacers do force that Game 7. It'll be in Oklahoma City on Sunday. That game will be at 8 o'clock, and I'm not sure, boys, this sets up any better for Indiana.
No, I think you're right. I think the pressure has shifted squarely to Oklahoma City here. Now, they've been really good in Game 7s at home. I think like the last 7, they've all won, so they're looking to make it 8 in a row here. That was one of those games last night, and I don't think any play exemplifies this more than the play that ended the third quarter, where it was basically a busted play. It was a broken play, and somehow they get that ball over to the top of the key, and they hit the 3 as the buzzer sounds, and he gets it off like just as the clock is going to 0. That just exemplified that last night. Like, that game was the Pacers' game.
Yes.
They were up the whole time. They got down early. I think it was like 8-2 early, and then all of a sudden they just took off. It was 3 points at the first quarter. Then they dominated the second quarter and just rolled from there. And it was just one of those games where, for some reason, on that night, everything was falling the Pacers' way.
There was, for me, in the second quarter, I think it was a Pascal Siakam dunk that sent Jalen Williams. I mean, that was the rest in peace moment, if there ever was one. I think even as they go to commercial break, Richard Jefferson's like, call the morgue, because there's a body on the floor. And that, to the point, was, Pascal Siakam and everybody else with the Indiana Pacers stepping up in moments that they needed, with Tyrese Halliburton dealing with a calf injury. Now, he toughed it out, and he only had 20 some odd minutes of action, but 14 points, 5 assists for Halliburton in a game that you needed everybody, and you got everybody. And to my point about the Pacers probably feeling great going into a Game 7 in Oklahoma City, because what scares you, or what should scare this team? I don't think anything. I mean, the Thunder are a great punch, counter-punch team, but you've already gone 6 games with them. So on the floor, confidence should be very high for the Thunder, for the Pacers. Maybe the Thunder, I think they're unbeaten coming off a loss in the playoffs. Like, I don't think they've lost after they suffer one. So we put that to the test Sunday night at 8 o'clock. But for the fans in Oklahoma City, you've got your choreographed T-shirts. Like the Pacers went into Cleveland, an atmosphere just as loud and just as daunting as what they'll face in Game 7, and they played the villain, and they played that role perfectly.
Well, again, the Thunder have been so good in Game 7s at home. Dan the Man on the YouTube says that the Thunder this playoffs are plus 247 at home, the best ever in the playoffs. So, yeah, I think Oklahoma City is still the favorite, but you're right, Reese. The Pacers in this Game 7, it almost feels like they're kind of playing with house money a little bit.
I think that I still think that the Thunder win. Like I think Oklahoma City, they're your NBA champions. But I do think this sets up perfectly for the NBA to have that Game 7 moment, to where you have the home team Thunder, the heroes of the NBA, or at least to the fans in attendance there at the Paycom Center. But you have the villainous Indiana Pacers come in and you create that moment Sunday night.
Well, all the pressure's on OKC with the season that they've had. Like, it's been net rating wise, analytically wise, it's historically a great season, one of the greatest ever. And now you're here just getting your doors beaten off against the Pacers in Game 6. And now you got to come back home and try to recover from that. I mean, they have earlier in the playoffs against the Timberwolves when the Timberwolves blew them out. But we'll see. It's a Game 7. There's a lot more that you have a random guy off the bench go for 25. I mean, just like Obi Toppin had 20 last night.
Well, and I think that's the thing about the Pacers. I know they've kind of been portrayed as the villain a little bit, especially around here in these
if you're
playoffs.
A Cavs fan,
yeah. When they beat the Cavs. But they are not like an individual or two and then everybody else. They seem to be like a true team. They play team basketball kind of like the Cavs. It seems like they really care about defense. And as you mentioned, Obi Toppin last night with 20 points. TJ McConnell, they're not where they are without him. All of these players on this team have had their moments. Siakam has had his moments. Nesmith has had his moments. Turner, Nimhard, the guys on the bench that we mentioned, Mathurin a little bit. Ben Shepherd steps in and plays 21 minutes last night. They seem to be a true team, and if you can get past the part that people don't like Halliburton and they're kind of the villain, they're actually a pretty fun watch.
If my math's correct, 48 points from the Pacers bench. You'd Toppin with 20. Here's Halliburton on the importance of everyone on that team, including the bench.
All year, we've just preached how important depth is to our success. I feel like we've really believed in our second group. They've been able to come in and pick up the energy when it's needed, when we're having good games, continue, to keep the energy flowing. Obviously, TJ and Obi are kind of the head of that snake off the bench, and we just got so many different guys that can chip in, and that's the thing about, the NBA and the playoffs is you never know when your number is going to be called, and we have so many guys that are prepared, for that moment.
And it's funny because I think it points this season or points in the postseason, we've said and it's been said about the Oklahoma City Thunder. Like, that's a team with depth off the bench, too, that doesn't get rattled in situations. And I'm not so sure, getting beat by 20 is in any moment. I think that that buzzer beater in the third quarter, I think, put the Pacers up 30. Like, I don't know if there's anybody from OKC, or maybe if you injected them with truth serum, that were like, all right, we'll just see you Sunday. We'll kind of fold this thing in. We'll head home and we'll have one of the greatest environments in all of sport. And that's as much that you can ask for. And, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, it does feel like if they're going to win this game, which, again, I do think the Thunder are going to win Game 7. I'm thrilled the Pacers came from what you could have thought they were going to be dead to pull out that Game 6, to dominate in Game 6 and to make this a series. But for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 21 points isn't something you would have thought he was going to score in a closeout game, but he's going to have to be there for them in Game 7. Here's SGA on that.
It's one game for everything you ever dreamed of. If you win it, you get everything. If you lose it, you get nothing. And it's that simple.
Are you sensing any differences in the difficulty of closing out a finals versus closing out any other playoff series?
No, I see it as the same thing. Like, in round 2, if we had lost, I would have been just as disappointed. We would have went home and our season would have been over. And if we lose, the season's over in the wrong way. So either way, I would have been extremely disappointed. So I don't think it's much different.
We do the real truth on Tuesdays. SJ, that's not the real truth. You can close out a playoff series. This is different. This is the NBA Finals. This is really one game to rule them all. So I understand where in, earlier rounds against the Timberwolves and how they've been the rest of the playoffs. This is different, but it provides the NBA, it provides sport, right? Like as we get throughout this program today, we will talk about sport. And the most important thing in this day and age for sport is the moment, is moments. And what you've created, or what was created last night in Indiana will translate over, in my opinion, to a great moment Sunday for Game 7 of the NBA Finals. We're going to have Tim May come on at 10:30 because I think college athletics in general has a problem that a lot of us face on a daily, weekly, maybe even monthly basis. And then we're going to be thrilled at 11:30. Zach Werenski, Blue Jackets defenseman, is going to join us as the NHLers are getting put back into the Olympics. He's already had a busy summer. We'll also do some NHL talk at the top of the 11 o'clock hour. Connor McDavid with some comments that Edmonton fans might find pretty alarming, but what's alarming for me, Baker, what's one of many things alarming for me as a Cleveland Browns fan is sometimes you have players that just fail the intelligence test. And this player in particular has had a really bad go of it in only 2 months as an NFL player. We'll discuss that next. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and common man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
This just in from the Lindsay Honda newsroom. It's our big anniversary sale. 0% for up to 60 months has been extended on all new Hondas. Try the new 2025 CR-V LX all-wheel drive with 0% financing.
Lower your rate, lower your payment.
Save thousands on hundreds of new Hondas when you buy now.
With so many Hondas, why would you go anywhere else?
Shop the big, the beautiful Lindsay Honda now. Visit lindsayhonda.com for details. Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Hi, this is Bob Masheter from Dick Masheter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at masheterford.net. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
10 West Broad, Columbus. CordellCordell.com.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, ooh, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
Summer is in full swing. If you think you're hot, well, so are your trees. You can help your trees by watering them, especially if they're newly planted. During the hot, dry summer months, your trees could use a water boost. Watering new trees a few times a week will help them survive while they're developing their root system, so don't forget about them. To find out more about watering trees or to find a certified arborist near you, go to treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
Got a teen athlete? Then you know putting in the hours is all part of the game. But did you know the same goes for learning how to drive? Because just like playing a sport, learning to drive takes practice. The only difference is the stakes are even higher. 50 hours of practice time driving with you? Worth every minute. Gear up at teachyourteentodrive.ohio.gov.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at some sunshine, but some clouds this afternoon with highs around 85. And then heading into the weekend, we're tracking the heat. More sunshine with highs near 90 here on Saturday, but mid-90s starting on Sunday with a weather impact alert issued here for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with mid-90s in the forecast and heat index values near 100 here next week. I'm meteorologist Aaron White with your 10 weather impact forecast here on 97.1 The Fan.
Buckeye games have been airing on WBNS since before you were born and before your parents were born and before Abraham Lincoln was born. Trust me. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Taking the art of sports radio and day drinking to a whole new level. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Reeser Baker Reimer. Body cam footage of you being super respectful does not absolve you of going 100 in a 65 or going 101 in a 60. So we talked Thursday morning about the speeding ticket Shador Sanders got Tuesday morning in Strongsville. That's up in Northeast Ohio. He was stopped going 101 in a 60. Then it was revealed yesterday that Sanders was also stopped for speeding less than 2 weeks ago by the Ohio State Highway Patrol. He was going 91 in a 65. So he got ticketed for that back on June 5th. Then he failed to appear for a municipal court hearing for the arraignment, which was this past Monday. Now, as we talked yesterday with Sanders and kind of our history with speeding tickets, which this show I think has got as many in totality as Sanders has had in the past 2 weeks. Like the farthest you would go to fight something or the furthest you would like not just send in the ticket with the check or with the cash. Medina's not too far from Cleveland. So it does think to me that Sanders could have probably made that appearance on Monday. The fact that he chose not to is pretty damning. He's also got $269 in outstanding fines. Because what happens is when you get one ticket, everybody in Northeast Ohio starts looking through records everywhere in Northeast Ohio that have your name on it. And that is what came to pass yesterday afternoon. And Baker, for me, it's you got away with it once and you got off scot-free, and it should be, hey, don't do that again. Just please just behave for the rest of your time as a rookie quarterback. Now, if you're able to start a game and with Myles Garrett, and his was almost cataclysmic in his, what he did in his car. But as a rookie, you have such a finer line to walk than an all-pro defensive end.
Not only a rookie, but a fifth-round pick, which no matter who you are and how talented you are, makes you a little more expendable. Also, when you're Shador Sanders, if you use the restroom and don't wash your hands, it's an issue, right? Also, something you shouldn't do, but
always wash your hands.
If you sneeze wrong, it's an issue. This is a different story today than it was yesterday. Hey, you went 101 in a 60. It was a mistake. Let's learn from it. Let's move on. Well, this is the second time now. In the whole court thing, I understand him not showing up. He's in minicamp. There's no excuse for your representation not being there. There's no excuse for your lawyer not being there and taking care of this or getting this fine paid or however you wanted to handle it. There's no excuse that your lawyer wasn't there. So you've got to realize if you're him, everything you do is gone through with a fine-tooth comb. You're under the magnifying glass. So this is a whole different conversation now. And again, nobody got hurt. speeding isn't the end of the world, but this is excessive speeding. We've seen the issues in sports with speeding. Just look at the Georgia football team.
Yeah.
Go ask Jalen Carter about these things and what can happen. So, yeah, this isn't a great look for Shador. It's not the end of the world, but there's obviously an issue with him liking to go fast.
Sure.
And you've got enough money if you need to go fast. There are things you can do to do it safely.
You do have, especially in Ohio, places if you want to race around, you can do that. One is forgivable, in my opinion. Two, then it's a pattern. And it's made worse by the idea that you've got outstanding fines and you just no-showed in court.
And we'll get into this a little later on in the show with another athlete in sports right now. But when you apologize for something once, okay. But when you do the exact same thing the next week and then try to apologize for it again, I'm not going to take your apology nearly as seriously.
And what I had said when we came back from the commercial break was you had seen body camera footage of Shador being pulled over, and the caption was, look how respectful this young man's being. It's like, well, I would hope so. He was committing it. That's pretty egregious, 101 and a 60. So I would hope everything he did was as respectful as humanly possible, knowing the kind of trouble he could be in, knowing the kind of trouble that, and even not knowing the kind of trouble he was in, because that's your second offense in a month, 2 weeks.
And the funny thing is with that tweet that was out there, one of the tweets that had the body cam footage, the person said, Shador model citizen on and off the field with clapping hands. And again, this isn't the end of the world. It's not like Shador went out there and committed murder or something. But when you have 2 speeding tickets in 2 weeks going 30 plus miles an hour over the speed limit, no matter how respectful you were with the police, which good on him for doing so, I don't know if we can put model citizen in there right now.
Feels like the bare minimum at that point is just to be respectful to the officer that's pulled you over and then pulled you out of your car. It's the first question he's going to be asked whenever he speaks with the media again. Training camp for the Browns starts July 22nd for the veterans. Rookies report on July 18th. Shador's a rookie. And to your point, a 5th-round rookie. And the thing about Myles Garrett, when he had his automobile issues, was he's an all-pro defensive end. So as long as you are really good at your job, those kind of things are a little bit more forgivable. And Myles could have lost his life. And the passenger in the car could have lost their life as well. And so it's a very serious thing, no matter the person, going that much over the speed limit. But when you've got this much to lose that as Shador does, then it makes it even worse when you've done it almost in back-to-back weeks because you didn't learn the lesson the first time. And when you're in a ongoing competition, really a daily competition to be quarterback one in the NFL, and you're a rookie, you've got Dylan Gabriel on the other side. Have you heard anything from him? I mean, and that could be what it comes down to. I don't know exactly how they've been on the field every single day at minicamp and at OTA, or at OTA and at mandatory minicamp, I should say. But if it comes down to these guys are both performing really well on the field, their command of the offense is great, their leadership in the locker room on the field's awesome. There's a fine line, there's a fine separator between Dylan Gabriel and Shador Sanders. It would automatically then go to who do we trust more with our franchise? And if it's Gabriel, squeaky clean image, or Shador, 2 speeding tickets in the span of 2 weeks, a no-show at court, and outstanding court fines, you would have to think, with all the things the Browns have going against them, with people in their locker room over the past couple of seasons, you give it to the squeaky clean guy.
And especially if this guy, one of these rookies, it doesn't end up winning the starting job at some point, that goes into it because we've talked about it on this show before. Your backup quarterback cannot be a story. You cannot hear about your backup quarterback. And unfortunately for Shador, because of who he is, it's already going to be hard for him to be a backup quarterback in the NFL because people are always going to be talking about him because of who he is, because of who his father is. People are always he's always going to be a story. Now, when you're adding to the story with things like this, this does not help your case to be in the league as a backup quarterback. Now, again, when we're talking about this is all things being equal. Because if Shador goes out there on the field and he just plays better and he eventually wins this starting job, and if he's just that much better than Dillon Gabriel, he's going to be on the team, right? They're going to keep him because of the performance. But in a world where everything is equal with these two, these kind of things are not good.
I didn't think about that. He's a 5th-round pick. They can cut him tomorrow and not think anything of it because all the other 31 NFL teams have done similar things. 5th-round pick, well, we're not going to carry 4 quarterbacks into the season. Maybe the Browns do carry 4 quarterbacks into the season. But if I'm not dealing with issues to Pickett, Flacco, and Dillon Gabriel, and all 4 quarterbacks are performing at relatively the same level going into training camp, and I've decided if I'm Stefanski and if I'm Andrew Berry that I don't really want to take 4 quarterbacks into this season, then Sanders becomes the odd man out because he's the 5th-round pick and because he's got some of these other off-the-field issues. I was so ready yesterday, to just be done talking about Shador until July 18th when rookies report to minicamp, and then even July 19th. Because what the hell what are we going to do on July 18th? They're just walking into a facility and getting physicals. But now here we are because this is what happens when a pattern of behavior comes out in a manner that, well, you weren't hoping for your 5th-round quarterback.
And it sounds like Shador has done everything right since being drafted by the Browns as far as what he needs to do on the field, going in and working hard in the community. And unfortunately, now the focus has shifted from that to this. Hopefully, he can get this taken care of. We have no more incidents. And everything from here on forward can be about Shador and his performance on the field.
And that sucks because he'd been doing so well. They've been doing so well in the community, been doing so well as a teammate, been doing so well as a rookie quarterback, just trying to learn. It's already hard enough to be a rookie in the NFL. You don't need to make it harder by failing intelligence tests.
And it's even harder when you're a rookie in the NFL and Deion Sanders is your father.
Everything's already so difficult. You don't need to make it more difficult by being a dummy. And Shador Sanders, you're being a dummy. Let's just maybe not do anything. You got a month. Can you keep everything clean for a month? And then hopefully further into training camp so you actually have a shot at being quarterback 1 for the Browns.
Only our Cleveland Browns, Reese. Only our Browns.
It's an incredible thing. But here we are doing this when yesterday, again, I was like, wouldn't have to worry about this till late July. Jake Diebler has had himself an offseason. You'll hear from him next talking about the build for Team 126. That's in 2 minutes. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
4th of July savings are here at the Home Depot, so it's time to get your grilling on. Pick up the Traeger Pro Series 22-pellet grill and smoker, now on special buy for $389, was $549. Smoke a rack of ribs or bake an apple pie, this grill is versatile enough to do it all. This summer, no matter how you like your steaks, your barbecues are guaranteed to be well done. Celebrate 4th of July with fast free delivery on select grills right now at the Home Depot. Subject to availability.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
The big focus in America today is on your health, and you're determined to look beyond pills and steroids and surgery to feel your best, right? So I want to talk to the person who is in pain right now. Or maybe it's someone you love. You've done everything they told you to do, and the pain just keeps coming back. Hey, it's Tyvis Powell for QC Kinetics. They are different. These are not quick fixes. This is a revolutionary treatment that works to give your body long-term relief. You'll meet face-to-face with Dr. Aaron Wilkoff and the QC Kinetics medical team. They'll explain how their regenerative treatments take your body's own healing power and helps heal and restore your damaged tissue. These are well-respected protocols that include potent and powerful cellular level treatments. QC Kinetics has helped tens of thousands of people, so many of them right here in Columbus, Ohio. They'd be honored to help you as well. Yes, you can say goodbye to that chronic pain and live your best life. Find out if you're a good candidate. The consultation is free. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a Friday. Ohio State men's basketball coach Jake Diebler held court 2 days ago in one of his first press conferences of the summer. It's been busy for the Buckeyes in trying to figure out what Team 126 is going to look like. But with all of that is a landmark shift in college athletics, and that's the House versus NCAA settlement approval, which will now allow Ohio State and every other Division I college in the country to directly pay student athletes. And so you heard from Ross Bjork a couple weeks ago on that, saying that football, men's basketball, women's basketball, and women's volleyball are going to be the four sports that the chunk of that $20.5 million goes to, as 3 of the 4 are main revenue generators. And then women's volleyball, I thought, was an interesting ad, but when you consider how much the Big Ten puts into women's volleyball, there's a professional team in Columbus, there's a professional league in Ohio. It is one of, what would that be, 33 sports that you see a lot of potential in. And with television revenue from the Big Ten, it can be something that where if you compete on a national stage, you can stand to earn a good chunk of change. Here's Coach Diebler on that NCAA House settlement.
Yeah, well, I think the encouraging thing about being at The Ohio State University is we're going to be on the cutting edge, and under Ross's leadership, feel real confident as to, once everything truly is settled, because I still feel like there's a lot of questions, but once everything's, truly settled, I think that's going to mean a great thing for our entire department, and certainly for our basketball program.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Almost everything you read about the settlement, almost everything you read about discussions being had by college athletic decision makers brings more questions than provides answers.
It does, and you just got the sense hearing Jake talk about this in a broader sense than what we just played there. He doesn't really understand and doesn't really know exactly what it means for his program yet. He's happy that he's got Ross Bjork there to help figure it out. But, yeah, he's just not – these coaches aren't totally sure yet what all this means.
It's July 1 of this year when they'll be able to start paying athletes. So between now and then, you'll have to answer a lot of those questions. And then as you get further into the summer, as you get into the fall, and as Ohio State starts to ramp up for the regular season, they've got to figure out, with the revenue sharing, who's it going to go to? Because I do think it's much like a job, right? You're not just going to pay everybody on the team the same amount. Like Bruce is going to be able to command a bunch because he's the leader of your squad. Junie Mobley, Devin Royal, like those 3 players aren't going to command any less than Christoph Tilley, right?
I mean, you would think that it's got to be equal across the board.
Like
and
cups.
Where this changes is going to be the NIL money that's still in play here for these guys. That's where the Bruce Thorntons, the Junie Mobleys, the Devin Royals are going to get more money. But I would think legally that this money is going to have to be distributed equal. And I think they said something like 75% of it's going to go to football, 15% to men's basketball. So that 15%, I would believe, is going to have to be distributed equally across the whole roster for Ohio State. But again, questions we just aren't sure that's the answer.
And so we think this is, we know that this is going to look different, Team 126, than Team 125. It looks like they brought in 7 players in the offseason. Looks like 4 transfers and 3 freshmen. But Matthew Guch, an 18-year-old professional, they'll bring over from Spain. And the German kid has, I think, played 2 years professionally. So I want to have a conversation about this here in a couple minutes about how you, as Jake Diebler, walk that line as your basketball coach. On one hand, you've got to worry about that guard from Richmond Heights who was ineligible academically, and now he'll be finding another place after junior college year to play his college basketball, and a professional that has 2 years probably removed from taking any kind of classes. But as it relates to a basketball standpoint, those 7 players, you're going to ask a lot from, because this needs to be on the court a better product than it was last season. Here's Coach Diebler on the roster makeup, I should say, for Team 126.
Experience, but it started with retention. Retention was how we wanted to build out this roster. The foundation, the core, however you want to put it, was retention. I think obviously the three guys, Bruce, John, and Devin, certainly highlight that, but also for us, the retention of guys like Tayson, Colin, and Yvonne. Guys who are developing in our program was important too. Once we had those kind of pieces settled, we wanted to build out from there and complement those guys, because we know there's a foundation of what Bruce, Junie, and Devin can do, right? Like we know what they can do. And by all accounts of what we've seen so far, they're all going to continue to make a jump. As we tried to add to that, we felt like experience was important in the front court, increasing our size. Like we're going to be bigger, really at the 3, 4, and 5 positions. I feel like we're going to be bigger this year. That was important because rebounding was an issue for us last year. So we wanted to address that and raise our collective basketball IQ. I think experience certainly plays a role in that, right? But those were things we were targeting.
When I hear him talk like that, there's the three guys that you know, and then everything else is a question.
It is, but I think that's why they went into the portal. It's a question for us, but they went into the portal and they didn't get. Last year, you got Sean Stewart and you got Aaron Bradshaw. Those were guys that were potential guys. You were hoping they grew into something. I think with Tilly and Noel and Cups, you kind of know what you've got there, because Christoph Tilly and Brandon Noel especially, they've played a lot of basketball. They have an established game. You know what you're going to get with them. Now, how that transfers over to the Big Ten, that's another question. But I think that's what he talked about with wanting to get experience in the portal this year and get basketball IQ, because I think they learned from last year, when you get guys that are freshmen, it's potential. It's maybe this could be this, but you're not really sure because those guys didn't get a lot of minutes at their respective teams. Noel and Tilly are guys that kind of carried the water and the weight for their team.
Reese, I would argue that you know what you're getting from two, being Bruce and Mobley, because of the transition that Royal is making to the 3. You know what you're going to get offensively from him, of course, but how is he going to transition defensively, guarding some longer and more slim 3s out on the perimeter? Because that's going to be a consistent thing for him next season, and that's what it sounds like, at least.
And so that's one of many things Jake Diebler's got to work on. And when you have your core 3, but with Royal making such a transition and bringing so many guys into the program from the portal, from high school, it's about how you get them to flow early and often, and chemistry in the offseason, a big part of that.
Oh, it's critical. And, I felt like we created a space where we could develop that chemistry off the court last year, but we weren't able to build upon it on the court because of our availability issues, essentially, right? So I feel like already we're ahead of where we were last summer on court chemistry. And listen, we're changing up some things. They're not wholesale changes, but we're adjusting some things offensively that chemistry is going to be important. In a short period of time, we've been able to really work on some things offensively, and it was great as a coach to see some carryover. I think the basketball IQ thing is going to be important to that, right? But for us, we're really intentional about who we invited in, because as a program, we value chemistry. I think it impacts winning in a major way.
You got to hit on those portal persons.
You do. But this is a team that some people are high on because of the 3 guys that we talked about, with Bruce Thornton, Junie Mobley, and Devin Royal coming back. You have a lot of the production coming back. Now, can these pieces come in and complement them? Can these pieces come in and help take some of the pressure off of Bruce Thornton? Does another year of Junie Mobley's development, another year of Devin Royal's development? And I think a wild card in a lot of this, Reese, and Jacob, you talked about Royal moving to the 3. I don't think that's something that has to be permanent. I think that's something that he can still play the 4 quite a bit. if Tayson Chapman is healthy, and it sounds like he is. It sounds like he's doing everything this summer, and there's no trepidation on his part. If Tayson Chapman can come in here and live up to the potential that they had for him when he came in as a freshman after a couple injuries, I think he's kind of a wild card on this team.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've love Royal at the 4, and I think as we get deeper into the season, when the time comes, I think it could be a valuable depth lineup at an end of a game when you have a little bit more experience out there with Bruce and a second-year Mobley, Royal down there mixing it up with some of the bigs like he did last year, and then you go with a Tayson Chapman, or you throw in a Guch who has that pro-level experience too, and a guy that can defend and knock down some shots.
Is Guch going to have to take classes? And Jake Diebler and also Ohio State women's volleyball coach Jen Flynn Oldenburg have duties and responsibilities as head coach that are more CEO. And I'm not sure if anybody can be properly prepared for the asks on both of those, the asks on Kevin McGuff, and even the asks on Ryan Day. We'll discuss that next. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic. Oh, yes. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Newman Roofing is proud to sponsor The Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat fan drive. Help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. Purchase new box fans and take them to the nearest Franklin County fire station or buy online. For more information, go to lifecarealliance.org.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman. From sold-out stadiums under Friday night lights to more than 100,000 screaming fans on the banks of the Olentangy. America's football capital is right here in Ohio. But the greatest football players and coaches of all time live up the road in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And a trip there should be on every football fan's list. Go to 971thefan.com/goldjacket and enter to win a VIP experience to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ignite the passion. Relive the glory.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes.
Take me out to the ball game.
Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops.
Scream for ice cream.
The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere.
It's in my eyes.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. So stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes. No appointment needed.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't let bad feet stop you from being active and getting healthy this year. Trade in your bad feet for good feet at the Good Feet store.
Join our resident gambling degenerates Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas for On the Money Sunday morning at 9.
Presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
All the action, none of the responsibility. The Fan.
Get summer blockbuster savings at Coghlan Kia, Central Ohio's largest volume Kia dealer. Right now, take up to $6,000 off MSRP on any new Kia in stock. Plus, get free maintenance for a full year when you buy. Get any new Kia with up to $6,000 off MSRP. Visit CoglanKia.com.
Largest Kia dealer based on current ground stock at all 4 Coghlan Kia locations. 2025 Kia Sorento XY. MSRP $47,990. $3,000 Coghlan discount. $3,000 factory rebate. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. N7725.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
10 West Broad, Columbus. CordellCordell.com.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The perfect show for quarter zips and khaki shorts. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, so of the 4 sports that are going to be given a bulk of Ohio State's athletic revenue to distribute amongst their players. We know Ohio State's football, their general manager is Mark Pantoni, as Bo likes to affectionately call the... I'm blanking on what, like the director of cool?
The ambassador of cool.
Thank you. I don't know why it blanked in my head. But what about the other three sports? I looked at Ohio State men's basketball, and Terrence Dials, former Big Ten Player of the Year, is their director of professional development. Katie Smith's on Kevin McGuff's staff. She's as an assistant. But for Ohio State women's volleyball, I don't know if they have that kind of general managerial role. Someone who would be involved in the distribution of that revenue. Someone who would kind of be managing a salary. It's funnier. The further we get from the House versus NCAA settlement, the more professional all of this verbiage becomes. You're talking about roster sizes. You're talking about salary caps, revenue distribution, television deals. Like, what of this is amateur? I would argue none of it. For Jake Diebler, it's more than just... for Jake Diebler, for Ryan Day, for Kevin McGuff, for Jen Flynn Oldenburg, it's more than just coach the sport, recruit the players, coach the sport now. It's become be CEO of a small company within a gigantic one. And where exactly you draw the line from being that CEO to coaching the X's and O's. And for Jake Diebler, you have a situation like with a player who's not meeting academic standards. And so Dorian Jones from Richmond Heights, you have discussions with his family. I'm not sure where Jake comes in on all of that because he doesn't work for Ohio State compliance. He works with. He doesn't work for Ohio State academics. He works with. He doesn't work with any of those bodies that would make sure that all Ohio State student athletes are up to snuff on grades. He works with. He makes sure that everybody coming in and everybody involved with the program meets those standards. And at Ohio State, they're very high. But when you then look to the job that he's doing of going internationally and bringing over Matthew Guch, who's 18 years old but has played 2 years of professional basketball, those aren't the same. Those are completely, the ages are the same. The basketball development's probably higher for Guch, who's, I think, going to be a great player for this team this upcoming season. But it just brings a greater question in my head of how are you going to treat him like a student athlete? Like Craig asks in the YouTube chat, he's going to have to take classes. I don't know the answer to that question. So earlier this week when Jake Diebler talked about his roster, talked about Team 126 and putting that roster together and how it's going to look on the court, he was asked about Guch, but it was more from how is this player going to fit in with your team?
He provides like real positional size and perimeter versatility. For us, we felt like we needed to add more size on the perimeter, and he's got a unique, for being such a young player, he's got a unique blend of like real high level experience. Mm-hmm. And so he just turned 18 not that long ago, but yet he's also played against grown men. And so I'm really excited, but there's an unknown element there. He's not able to be out there with us like in every drill being coached by us yet. He can be around. It's very, for all the obvious reasons, right? It's just complicated as to what he can and can't do. But I think it says a lot about him. He wanted to be here knowing that, and he wanted to be here to be around the guys and build that chemistry.
No, that's great from a basketball player standpoint. But how does that fit in with the student athlete thing? And I would argue that it doesn't. I would argue that this isn't something that you can regulate like amateurism, like student athletes. You went out to get a player and you used the resources at your disposal, Jake Diebler, to go get a player who is playing professionally to help you win basketball games. Not go take a BIOS 103 class with 300 other Ohio State students. Now, whether he does that in person or virtually, that doesn't matter either. But that's not what he's here to do. But on the other foot, because you have to regulate the student athletes that are coming out of the high school level and their GPAs. It is ridiculous.
It's always been the balance, right? And listen, I feel like we don't put enough credit on the value of these guys getting an education. Now,
There's tremendous value.
Now, I don't know how many of them actually believe that they're going to use that education at some time. I think it's one of the great things that places like Ohio State does when they have people that were involved in the program before at all different levels. Some that were stars in the league, some that grinded a few years in the league, some that never made it and got into coaching or got into helping these athletes. With Guch, the thing is, we don't know, like, has he still been continuing his education in Europe? Does he still have to while he's playing professional basketball? Because he's playing professional basketball, but he's still just 16 and 17 years old. I don't know how that is. I mean, obviously, there's going to have to be some kind of participation in academics, like you said, whether that's virtually and online classes or whether that's going and attending classes with everyday students. There was some part of academic progress put into this house settlement and the revenue sharing. So do these guys have to go to classes and get a certain grade point average to continue to get that money? These are all things, again, that we don't know. For a guy like Guch, though, the biggest thing is, and it sounds like he's been over here as much as he can. They're still working on his student visa or whatever that is for him to come here and be here while he's playing basketball. But the most important thing right now, regardless of classes and all of that, is just getting him here, fitting in with his teammates, fitting in with the new style of life over here, and again, building that chemistry.
Yeah, all of it's such a change in there's so much change. And when I have all of these questions and I ask them primarily of Ohio State athletics, because I don't think anybody has these answers. And similarly with the Ohio State women's volleyball team, now that there's going to be a new influx of revenue that's going to be expected to be shared amongst players in that program, head coach Jen Flynn Oldenburg on a little bit of how she's going to try to manage what is a salary.
I think it's going to be year by year based on the roster, production, awards, those kind of things, more incentive based. We have a plan in place. It's not locked in stone. And I think that we can be creative with it. I think that's the exciting part about this year. I'm excited to be able to use it.
Tip of the cap to the sports department over at WSYX Channel 6 for the audio. But yeah, 3 years ago, I don't think this was anything that would have been considered from an Olympic sport. Hey, coach, here's a bunch of money. We think that there's going to be more coming, certainly with the 20.5 that's available for student athletes at Ohio State now. I think between now and 2035, it's expected to jump $19.5 million to like $39 million. Here's a chunk of it. Use it how you see fit. And now we all have that at our jobs, right? As we're employees, certainly not everyone at the station's making the same. Certainly not everyone at the station should make the same. But boy, does that feel a lot like work and employment. And if you just had contracts for a lot of these student athletes, some of these issues wouldn't exist. But then the control, it ebbs and flows, right? With contracts and with employment. There's the control there's the facade of control, I think, because right now with college athletics, I don't know who is in control.
The more answers we get, the more questions we have.
It was interesting. We'd gone 54 minutes in this program and have yet to mention baseball. Now, we figured this being the AV cart of sports talk radio, now that Bo's out and your substitute teachers are in for the day, we'd have just done 3 hours. Not to say we're going to do much in the next hour, but real quick on the Dodgers and Padres, that rivalry, benches cleared yesterday. Like 7 people got ejected. Ohtani got hit on the shoulder. I think that's good for baseball because I think those rivalries make it interesting for casual fans who at 10:10 on the East Coast, I'm not staying up for it. But the next day, if I'm watching the Padres and the Dodgers go at it, okay, I want to know what happened here.
Yeah, people are going to pay attention to this series between these two teams moving forward. The day before, you had Dave Roberts getting ejected because he was upset that Ohtani and 1 or 2 of his other players had gotten hit by pitches. Very upset about that. Then Fernando Tatis gets hit on a ball that kind of just drifted in on the pitcher. It looked like Mike Schilt, the Padres manager, is all upset. Dave Roberts is upset that he's upset and the bench is clear. And then in the next half inning, they plunk Ohtani again, and he's like, no, guys, we're literally about to jump over. I think one Dodger player had jumped over the railing of the dugout, and Ohtani waved them off and said, no big deal. But Ohtani does, while he's on first base, walk over to the Padres bench and has a discussion with a couple of the players. Anytime those two get together the rest of the year, you're going to be paying attention.
You can't plunk the best player on the planet and not think that there's going to be some sort of retaliation. Does the best player on the planet owe anyone anything? That's next. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
Catch the latest from the world of Ohio State athletics. Weeknights at 6 on the Buckeye Show. New special guests and everything scarlet and gray. The Fan.
Men, summertime is here. And that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. And if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Tri-State Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. And because we are so confident in the efficacy of our low T treatment protocols, for a limited time, we are offering you a free first appointment, which includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654. Or go to tristatemenshealth.com. That's tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
Matty Ice here. When I needed a new Chevy, I headed to McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Right now, get up to $12,000 off MSRP on a 25 Silverado LD. They've got no market adjustments, no hidden costs, and sales managers are on the floor ready to help. That's been the McDaniel difference since 1916. They're just a short drive north off Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. McDaniel GM Superstore, where great deals meet a century of trust. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Hey, it's Anthony for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Summer savings, Rich is backing it up. He has rates as low as 0% and leases starting from $249 a month. How about a 25 Honda HR-V LX CVT two-wheel drive? Lease it for only $259 a month. 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $30.39 down. And all trades deserve a sweetener. He's giving you an extra $1,000 for yours. See them for all the details. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270. Hey, it's Anthony Rothman. From sold-out stadiums under Friday night lights to more than 100,000 screaming fans on the banks of the Olentangy. America's football capital is right here in Ohio. But the greatest football players and coaches of all time live up the road in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And a trip there should be on every football fan's list. Go to 971thefan.com/goldjacket and enter to win a VIP experience to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ignite the passion. Relive the glory.
A healthy body needs good food. This summer, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is sponsoring Sun Meals, a summer food program where kids eat free. Children under 18 receive healthy meals and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.
Get an Eco.
ECO. Hey, Jerry, I think I invented something. Does it solve a problem? It solves a big problem.
Get an Eco.
ECO. Heating and cooling companies are telling people your furnace and AC isn't worth fixing. You need to replace it with a whole new system.
You invented a solution for that?
I invented a way to fix those systems for free.
Get an Eco.
ECO.
That's a great invention. How does it work?
Step 1 is to pay ECO to fix it.
I thought you said you'd fix it for free.
Step 2 is that we give you back all the money that you paid us, up to $1,500 when you get ECO to replace it.
Get an Eco.
ECO.
What if your repair keeps my system running for several more years?
That would mean you got all those extra years for free.
Paying ECO to fix your AC system is like putting money in the bank.
Get an Eco.
ECO.
Get an Eco.
ECO.
Get an Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Picture this. You're staying at a hotel about to take an important video call, but the Wi-Fi is slower than 1997 dial-up. You struggle with your phone's hotspot as clients complain about your connection. These stressful situations don't have to happen. When you book a room at La Quinta by Wyndham, you get free high-speed Wi-Fi to handle critical emails, join meetings on time, and even unwind with your favorite shows. No more worrying about spotty connections. Enjoy stress-free stays with reliable Wi-Fi. Tonight, La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Book direct at lq.com.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. There will be a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. The Pacers pummeled the Thunder 108-91 last night in Game 6 to even the series at 3 games apiece. Pascal Siakam led the Pacers starting 5 with 16 points, 13 rebounds. Obi Toppin added 20 off the bench. Tyrese Halliburton scored 14 despite dealing with a calf injury. OKC's going to host Game 7 Sunday night at 8 o'clock. You can hear that game on the Fan. In baseball Thursday, the Reds fell to the Twins 12-5. That loss snapping a 4-game win streak. Cincinnati's in St. Louis to begin a 3-game set with the Cardinals tonight at 7:15. You can hear that game on the Fan tonight following the Buckeye Show. As for the Guardians, Cleveland dropped their finale in San Francisco 2-1 yesterday afternoon. Guardians are in Sacramento to battle the Athletics tonight at 10:10. This update sponsored by the Waterworks, your trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts. Visit online today at thewaterworks.com. Breaking sports news when it happens on the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
It's still weird to say the Athletics in Sacramento. Athletics of Oakland, soon to be Las Vegas, playing in a minor league ballpark in Sacramento. It's why when the College Sports Commission was announced and they were going to bring over a baseball lawyer, I thought to myself, well, if he's been under Manfred for a while, the only thing that regime has done is made baseball games go faster. And so I wonder if he's an unserious person with one job, you're just giving him more money to, in my opinion, be an unserious person about this job. Because there is scuttlebutt, and there will continue to be scuttlebutt until an actual ruling comes down from the NCAA about Michigan and the sign-stealing scandal. But how does the College Sports Commission, if anything to do at all with what Michigan did in Spygate? Like, how do they have or want anything to do with it? But that's the body that's going to be figuring out what college athletics is going to be for the next however many years. Doesn't make any sense.
None of it does, Reese. None of it does. And who knows, will the College Sports Commission be involved in any of that? There's still just the athletics to me, though, right? That's what you look it up anywhere. Yeah. It's just the athletics. They have no home.
I was looking last night for a Sports Center update, and I pulled up ESPN and just listed out the teams. And I go to the AL West, and it says Seattle Mariners, Texas Rangers, and then there's just the Athletics.
Yep.
There's no city affiliated with it.
A team without a home. Name. And they keep kicking the can down the road on when they're going to break ground on the Las Vegas Stadium, because I think they're still financially a ways off from actually being able to finance it, which is a fun problem in and of itself. So you talk about the Athletics not really having a home anymore. The Stanley Cup has a home in Sunrise, Florida. The Panthers made it back-to-back earlier this week, again against the Edmonton Oilers. So they're still partying with the cup. It's been damaged. It's been dented. But I think the keepers of the cup, or the guardians of the cup, have assured us that thing's going to look pristine for Saturday's Stanley Cup parade. I see this from the South Florida Sun-Sentinel. Sam Bennett announced that he's going to be returning to the Florida Panthers. He was going to be a free agent in this offseason, but he did so at Club 11 with the Stanley Cup in his arms. That, to me, I think is the coolest way to celebrate a championship, is when the players get the actual trophy and get to gallivant around with it. Each player will get his individual day coming up, and so you'll see all of the social media stuff from that. But to have the Panthers, and South Florida is an interesting market because the give a damn level fluctuates with everybody not named the Miami Dolphins. And so to have them kind of embrace these champions, that's what you have to do, right, Baker? If you're going to be a hockey team in Florida, you got to win a bunch. And then they'll embrace you, as what's being shown right now with the Panthers.
And it has been fun watching them take the cup throughout the city and celebrate. Sam Reinhart in a Barkov jersey, Barkov in a Reinhart jersey, and they are just having the times of their life. We talked about Barkov being shown on a Ring door camera at like 2:30 in the morning, just ringing random people's doorbells. Those guys are having fun.
Do you wonder how many of those doorbells he rang that were like, who are you? I didn't order that.
How many called the cops? Some weird, strange, drunk man is ringing my doorbell.
Now, for a handful of people, I'm sure they're like, oh my God, yes. And they're probably, if this were me, and let's will it into existence. In the next decade, the Blue Jackets will win the Stanley Cup. And Adam Fantilli will go throughout houses in Grandview doing the exact same thing because he's had a few to drink. He hasn't slept in a couple of days, and he's just trying to celebrate, ringing on doors, knocking on doorbells, trying to get people out to party with him at wee hours of the morning. I'm going into my fridge, and I'm grabbing a couple of beers. And I'm pouring them into the cup, and I'm having a drink.
You think Zach Werenski would do it?
I do. I think he would be. I think there would be a gigantic, just a swath of players that would carry that thing around, much like at a wedding, a guy's on top of a chair, and they're just hoisting Lord Stanley's Cup. Picture them like walking down third or walking down fifth with it.
I think that could happen, like those guys walking through the shore north, but I can just imagine like the whole team showing up with the Stanley Cup to the R Bar downtown where all the crazy hockey fans are, and what a time that would be.
It's a good job out of you, Jacob, as Jackets defenseman Zach Werenski will join us at 11:30 this morning. Tim May of Ohio State football for the last ever will join us at 10:30 because I do want to get his thoughts on what we're doing here with college athletics. Like, what are we doing with football? Like, are they ever going to come to an agreement on anything by the time you actually kick the ball off on August 30th? Because it feels like of all of these meetings that these college athletic directors, administrators are having, nothing's being settled. Like, nothing's being finalized. Like, you can't click send on any of these emails. The discussions continue to be ongoing. The last time anything of substance was really done was when a district court judge in California made a final ruling on a settlement. Everything else is just, well, discussions continue to be ongoing. So that'll be later on this hour and as we go throughout the program today. But with Lord Stanley's Cup remaining in Florida for another season, it does make me think on one side elation, on the other side for the second year in a row, absolute heartbreak. You have in the Edmonton Oilers the second best team in the sport, the best team in the Western Conference that's loaded. But this has just been the second year in a row they've run up against the juggernaut in the Florida Panthers. And so the question coming out of that Game 6 loss for the Oilers is what now? And the paramount question is what now about Connor McDavid? And this was yesterday, so he spoke on Thursday. I think Game 6 was Tuesday night. So there's not a whole lot of time really to it's not fair, I think, and none of this is fair, of course, to have him process everything in such a short span. It's 2 years of absolute heartbreak in back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals appearances and back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals losses. Here's McDavid talking about his future.
This core has been together for a long time, and we've been building to this moment, all along. The work that's gone on behind the scenes, the conversations, the endless, disappointments, and some good times along the way, obviously as well. We're all in this together, trying to get it over that finish line. With that being said, ultimately, still need to do what's best for me and my family, and that's who you have to take care of first. But of course, there's unfinished business here. Yeah.
The last part of that comment, Baker, you said concerns you if you were an Oilers fan. Why?
Yeah, if I'm an Oilers fan and I hear Connor McDavid talking about unfinished business here, and in that he says, I've got to do what's best for me and my family, But yeah, there's unfinished business. Like, he's going to do what benefits him the most, and whatever that is. Like, if he feels what he needs to do more than anything is go win a championship, and he can't do that in Edmonton, he's got to go somewhere else. That's what he's going to do. There's no, I want to be here. There was no, hey, this is where I want to be. I want to do what I can to work something out. There's none of that. It's whatever's best for me and my family. So if I'm an Edmonton Oilers fan, I'm pretty nervous that the best player on the planet isn't going to re-sign with my team.
So he'll be entering the final season of an 8-year, $100 million contract he signed back in 2017. He's eligible for a new deal on July 1. So if you're the Oilers, you've probably already got the framework for an offer ready to go to put in front of his agent. Now, I do wonder that the time between Game 6 and now, maybe it's still, the wound's a little too fresh to bring all of this up to him. But if you heard screams from Alberta, Canada yesterday, it was likely after hearing those comments. Does McDavid owe Edmonton anything? Does he owe that fan base anything in regards to his what could be a season-long free agency?
No, he doesn't owe them anything. He stayed there. He signed an 8-year contract with them. And at the time, I believe it was the richest contract in hockey. It's not anymore. It's the, I don't know. It's in the top 5 still of hockey contracts. But his teammate Leon Draisaitl's making $14 million right now, and Draisaitl earned that. Draisaitl's. Yes. I don't think people give Leon Draisaitl enough credit for how good of a player he is because he plays with Connor McDavid. But he is a great player. I would think with McDavid, any contract that he signs starts with $15 million a year minimum here. But he does not owe the city of Edmonton anything. He was drafted there. He's 28 now. He was 18. He's played there for 10 years seasons now and really has nothing to show for it team-wise. Now, people can hold that against Connor McDavid if they want or not, but he has been fantastic. He's been the best player in the league, and he don't know them anything. He's given them a lot, and this could be the last time he has, because you have to think this is going to be an 8-year deal for Connor McDavid. This could be the last time he has to really cash in and go where he wants to go. So he's given them a lot.
A long, arduous offseason for the Edmonton Oilers could turn into a regular season of, well, they can't let him walk. We'll discuss a little bit of that. And then college football has got to come to a decision on something. College athletics needs to decide on something. What's that going to be? When's that going to be? All of that next. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived, the only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes.
Take me out to the ball game.
Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops. The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere.
It's in my eyes.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. So stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes. No appointment needed.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here, and so are the summer savings at RCD RV. Don't miss RCD RV's summer kickoff sale running June 7th through the 21st. New RVs starting as low as $12,995. Now's the time to make a splash this summer. Hurry in. Those deals will not last long. Find unbeatable savings, unforgettable fun, and everything you need to hit the road at RCDRV.com. Visit our locations, Delaware, Heath, and Pataskala, or shop online anytime at RCDRV.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to sponsor the Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat Fan Drive, benefiting Life Care Alliance. You can help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. How can you help? Purchase new box fans and bring them to the nearest Franklin County Fire Station, or you can buy online and ship fans directly to Life Care Alliance. The collection and distribution of fans is to assist residents who are at risk of heat stroke or heat exhaustion. For more information, go to lifecarealliance.org.
This promo is for anyone who likes baseball or America or Terry Francona's scooter. The Reds are on the Fan. Catch all 162 games here on the Fan and 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan's HD2. Your home for Reds baseball, the Fan.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at sunshine, some clouds this afternoon with a high near 85. And then heading into the weekend, we're talking about the heat. More sunshine near 90 here on Saturday, but mid-90s and heat index values near or over 100 here starting on Sunday and continuing into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday here next week. I'm meteorologist Aaron White with your 10 weather impact forecast here on 97.1 The Fan.
Here's a quick 10-second reminder that the Buckeyes have won the Natty. Also, we are all the games, and we always will. Thank you. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Yes, you are. Reeser Baker Reimer putting a bow on our conversation about McJesus and what next season could look like for him in Edmonton if after July 1 they haven't agreed to a long-term extension. Then it feels like every other week for the fan base there, it becomes a what do you do at the trade deadline? You're sitting there with Connor McDavid, not signing, not committing, not being an active participant in extension contract discussions, then it goes back to probably what every fan base with a gigantic superstar, a generational talent feels. Well, you can't let him leave for nothing. And then so that's part of the discussion that gets thrown into a season where you're coming off back-to-back Stanley Cup final losses. Not a great place to be right now.
I think you probably just maybe any Edmonton fans out there, you probably made them feel a little worse than Connor McDavid did yesterday, talking about I've got to do what's best. It's kind of hard to believe we're even thinking about that, right? Because you don't think about Patrick Mahomes getting traded in the NFL. You don't think about the best players. You never thought about Tom Brady really getting traded in the NFL until he was in his 40s finally, you know. Like McDavid's in his prime. He's 28 years old. But this is a sport like Bo talks about all the time. Wayne Gretzky got traded. Not just once. Wayne Gretzky got traded a lot. So these things happen. And, yeah, if you're Edmonton, it's kind of like an asset management. We saw the Blue Jackets in 2019. They went all in. They kept Bob. They didn't trade him. They kept Panarin. They didn't trade him. They went and added the Duchesnes and the Dzingels and those guys. They went all in. And there's something for that because as a Blue Jackets fan, that's the best run you've ever had in history. And who knows if you could have gotten by Boston, but it was a little too rich for you still, and you didn't. But that began a couple of years where you had to sink. The Jackets had a couple of really bad years there. It started a thing that none of us wanted, none of us saw, but you didn't want to pay Bob, he left. Panarin, he wanted to play in a big city, big market, he left. Then all of that led to Seth Jones leaving, Pierre-Luc Dubois, that situation. John Tortorella goes. Now, the Jackets seem to be on an upswing now, and it's a high for the Jackets. But you've got to, if Connor McDavid's not going to sign, and that's going to be tough because if he's on your team, you're going to be in the middle of a playoff race again, and you're going to want to try to go win this thing again. But, man, if he walks for nothing, you're in a bad spot.
Are you saying the Jackets should try to acquire Connor McDavid next year at the deadline?
I mean, why wait? Why not try to do it this offseason? Let's be proactive, right?
We'll see if we can get some offseason plans out of Zach Werenski. The Jackets defenseman will join us in the next hour, 11:30 for that. Tim May coming up here in about 8 minutes. I do want to ask Tim, when he joins us, what's the first most glaring issue college football needs to solve? And I'm not sure, Baker, where you sit on that. The one thing college football, or college sports rather, should solve right, like what's something they've got to do? What's something that they've done? I can't think of anything that's been finalized or anything that's been solved or anything that's really any decision that's been made. I see all these conversations. These commissioners meet this week in Asheville, North Carolina. The College Football Executive Committee was there, but this is Rich Clark telling reporters on college football expansion. Pretty much everything's on the table, and they're taking a good look at it. So I wouldn't say there's a leading contender right now for them, but they're taking a fresh look at it because are we still doing the 12 team? We're still doing the 12 team for 2025, but what happens after that? Are we doing 14? Are we doing 16? Nicole Auerbach of NBC Sports had a good point on it, and the idea that these guys can't seem to figure out anything right now, especially what's about to happen July 1, where from a district court judge, you need to start paying your players a certain amount of your academic revenue, or athletic department revenue, I should say. Maybe just table the expansion conversation until you can solve the other issues with your sport and with college athletics.
Well, and you know how I feel about expansion anyway. Like, I don't think we need expansion.
No,
We're getting it because of money, but there's not 12 teams that deserve to be playing for a national championship, let alone 16, right? Like, in my opinion, and I know this isn't popular around here, Ohio State didn't deserve to play for a national championship last year. Now, they were the best team when it came time to the postseason, and they had maybe one of the I don't think maybe, it's one of the greatest runs in college football history. And I think when push comes to shove, that Ohio State team last year probably was the best team in the country, the most talented team, and they proved it in the playoff, and they won the national championship. They didn't prove it during the regular season, though, with their play. And in a 14 playoff, they wouldn't have got in. Some people say, well, that's your argument for why it needs to be expanded. Well, no, I'd rather you play better and win your games in the regular season, quite frankly. I'd rather you beat a team who I know it's your rival, but you were twice the team that they were last year. I'd rather you beat them on the field. So in all intents and purposes, Ohio State didn't deserve to play for a national championship last year. Now they did, and they won it, and we all love that. I'm still a 4 guy. I don't think there's ever more than 4 teams, really, that deserve to play for a national championship. And last year when we went into the playoff, it was Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Georgia, right? And Georgia lost their quarterback, so maybe they were kind of thrown out of that. Those were the 4 teams that everybody was like, one of these 4 teams is going to win it for the most part. And guess what? Those were the 4 at the beginning of the year. Everybody was saying the same.
I agree with you, and this is probably going to fly in the face of what happened in January, but I'm of the opinion that if you don't beat Michigan, you do not deserve a postseason spot. If you're Ohio State, you need to beat Michigan to make the college football playoff. You need to compete for a Big Ten championship. That for me is the prerequisite, but this college football expansion obviously has allowed for that, and it allowed for what we saw back in January. And now I do love the 12-team college playoff because of the first-round games that it provided us. Like, those atmospheres were awesome. I love more college football. So from a personal standpoint, I'm thrilled with 12 teams. I don't think you need to change any more than that, because I already think you're seeing it a difficult thing for ESPN to carry all 12 teams, or all would it be 6 games, or the college football playoff as it stands right now, and then you want to expand it. Well, they kind of know that that's coming, so they've outsourced it to TNT. Like, it feels like it's just too much. But there's so much else problematic for college athletics right now that being the premier issue feels like everybody's just missing the point, or they just have the wrong priority. Now, the priority is money. And so, again, I think it, like we were talking in the last hour, flies in the face of what's actually the idea behind amateurism in college athletics. But I do understand why the college football playoff expansion's been the driving thing, because they need to get more money. And so how do you do that? Well, you make more games. You create more inventory, because they're not games anymore. It's television inventory. But boy, everything else over here, it's like that shiny thing. Like, hey, focus on this. Focus on college football expansion. Focus on more inventory. Don't focus on everything else that's smoldering over here with college athletics.
And I think it's interesting that we're talking about these commissioners and all of these commissioners there. We talked about it yesterday. What was it, 10? The 10 conference commissioners all meeting, and Notre Dame's AD, Pete Bavacqua. But yet, it's the SEC and the Big Ten that are the ones disagreeing here and supposedly holding this up. Like, why do we need all these other people involved? We know that these two conferences run things. We know they're the driving force in all of this. Why don't we just get them in a room and let them decide and cut all the fluff out?
This from Ross Dellinger. Commissioners received the latest version of the new NCAA governance model on Wednesday. The primary piece of the proposal, 65% weighted voting powers for A4, remains unchanged. So the A4, the Big Ten, the SEC, the ACC, and the Big 12, they've got weighted voting power when you want to make any kind of change or do anything in college athletics. The D1 Board of Directors will discuss at their meeting next week, but no action is expected yet. Like, it feels like with every bit of new information, no discussions will continue. No action is expected yet. I feel like it's time, because, and I'll explain just a little bit of how I felt like college athletics. When you go to clean your house, and if you're anal like me, you're trying to clean like 6 different things at once. And as you're cleaning, you find out an hour from when you start, you've begun 18 different projects, but nothing's actually been finished yet. And so there's really been no progress made on cleaning the actual house. And for college athletics, what you've started and had discussions about a bunch of these things, I do feel like we're getting close, and we're literally getting close to July 1st. It's time to actually come to a conclusion on a lot of this. We'll get Tim May's thoughts on all of this coming up next. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
This summer, Giant Eagle is making a big splash with a carefree summer sweepstakes and your chance to win free groceries for a year. This June, just spend $10 or more shopping for backyard barbecues, road trip essentials, campfire treats, and everything in between. Then swipe your loyalty card for your chance to win. Only at Giant Eagle. No purchase necessary. Sweepstakes ends 6/30/25. For official rules, visit GiantEagleCarefreeSweeps.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Drink recommendations, movie reviews, sports discussion, whatever the hell Reeser does. This is Bishop and Friends.
Well, I call the show the right name of the actual show. This is Bishop and Friends. Bo's out on vacation, so you got us to deal with. But it is Friday. So how about we go out now to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline and bring on great friend of the program, Tim May. Tim, I've crowned you Czar of college athletics. Congratulations.
Really?
Wow. It includes...
Does that come with a free jet?
No. You get 2 uses of it per year and a Chipotle card that gives you 1 free burrito each week.
Does that jet go into Asheville, North Carolina, of all places, to have a CFP meeting where you don't get anything done?
So it does at least twice in a year, and then it'll go to Dallas if you want. It'll go to New Orleans if you'd like it to. Because you are college czar, college athletic czar, what's the first thing you're going to fix? What's the paramount issue?
There's a lot of things you would fix.
You got to pick one right now.
Well, the first thing I would do is I would come to I would declare that the 4-4-2-2-1 model is where I want to go to when I move to a 16-team playoff. So that'd be the very first thing, to give everybody some structure, some guidance. Go over in the corner, SEC, if this or Big Ten or SEC, if this makes you cry, and get over it, get over yourself, because you're going to get still the biggest, largest slice of the pie. Biggest, largest, I think, that might be redundant, but you know where I'm going with that. By the way, you should call this Bishop's Friends and Friend. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, it's the Friendship Edition. We're all sailing on it together.
Yes.
Tim, why would you go with the 4-4-2-2-1, however that is, model, as opposed to the 5+11? Because to me, I want to see the best 16 teams regardless of conference. Now, usually I'm guessing that will probably be 4 from the Big Ten and 4 from the SEC. But if it's not, I don't think they deserve it.
Let me ask you this: in what world do you see the Big Ten and the SEC, just based on pretty much last year's model, but moving forward, of them not having, each having 4 of the top 16 rated teams in the final college football playoff committee rankings over the next several years? If you just look at, from a recruiting standpoint and everything else. See, my point is you're already going to get what you want, which is supreme consideration when it comes to getting at least a quarter of the field in the field. How much more do you really need? And I got so frustrated last year with the whinings, and everybody knows who've been listening to Bishop's Friends and Friend all these years. I grew up in Alabama. I went to Alabama home games. I was an Alabama fan way back when, all this stuff. My point is, I got so tired of hearing about Alabama should have been in last year when they lost to Vanderbilt in Oklahoma, for example, and then had another loss. But my point is, 4 is more than enough, and you could still squeak another team or two in the remaining slots of a 16-team tournament. So that's why I think that's fair, because the Big Ten and the SEC drive the bus, but they're not the only people on the bus.
Tim, you had brought up independently of me asking that commissioners meeting in Asheville, North Carolina. Is it when they have all of these meetings and then just decide to keep kicking the can down the road, are we putting a deadline on July 1st to actually get something done? Like a decision needs to be made on something. Why do you think it's so difficult to actually have like college playoff expansion, revenue sharing? Like there haven't been any decisions made on this, but from a district court judge. Why do you think that's been that kind of an issue?
For all kinds of reasons. Number one of which is college football is not like the NFL. I mean, college football, even in the Big Ten, you've got independent people, dealing with things. They're trying to act as one unit, but everybody has their own preference, their own prejudice when it comes to things, and getting them all to agree on one thing is crazy. I mean, I believe in the idea that the Big Ten and the SEC need to get their act together and then present it to the group. And, for one of another term, not take it or leave it, but pretty close. We'll have some discussion here, but this is what's going to make us happy, and therefore it's going to make you happy. So that's what first needs to happen, like any bill in Congress or whatever. You need the guys who are presenting it first to agree on what they're presenting, and then move it in. Put a little pork in there for the for everybody else, because I keep going back to this line, guys. You got to have somebody to beat when you're in major college football. You've got to have somebody to beat, and you still need the 2-2-1 guys, if you follow my drift there. The PAAC, the Pacific Atlantic Athletic Conference, deserves to have at least two teams in the thing. It did last year, and I believe the Big 12 deserves to have two teams in it, and then you move on from there. And I think 4 from the Big 10 and the SEC is a fair amount, especially for the SEC, because they've only got 16 teams. That means a quarter of their teams would be in the college football playoff. Why doesn't that work? If anybody has a gripe, it'd be the Big Ten, because I think the Big Ten will be 20 teams here in the next probably in the next 5 years, and that would mean only 1/5 of your teams get in. So there are all kinds of reasons why they should come to an agreement. But yeah, I love these meetings they have to kick the can down the street and then schedule another meeting.
You said 20 teams in the next decade for the Big Ten. Who are the two teams they add?
Well, being a regular, at least once a week, on the Bishop and Friends show, and also the Bishop Friends and Friends show, I've been saying for a couple of 3 years now, I expect Notre Dame and North Carolina to be in the Big Ten sooner, maybe not sooner rather than later, but at some point. So that's why.
Tim, you mentioned the SEC and the Big Ten. They should just put their proposal out there and give it to everyone else. It seems like everything coming out of Asheville, North Carolina, the holdup is a disagreement on what the Big Ten want and the SEC wants. So why do we need all these other conference commissioners in there? Why don't we sit Sankey, Petiti down, let them hash out their differences, get rid of all the outside noise, just let those two work on it and get this settled and done?
Well, those two could work on it like we're speaking right now, right? They could work on it by phone and get it done. But you want to here's the thing. You can't just abandon people. You like for people to think they have a seat at the table and a legitimate seat. But, when the G7 meets or the G12 or whatever, I'm talking about, worldwide kind of important kind of things, everybody knows who the big dogs are at the table, and it's the same way in college athletics right now, especially college football. We're talking about college football. But like I keep going back to, you still have to have people to schedule and or beat. I mean, here's the thing. If they went to a nine team, they can't even agree on whether the SEC should have a 9 game intra-conference schedule. and then move out from there. So they're not even on equal terms when it comes to scheduling within their own conferences. So there are all kinds of differences. This is not, like I said, it's not like the NFL, where the NFL can tell you to go play a game in Brazil and you go, yes, sir, may I have another? You know what I mean? This is a grouping of sort of confederate states when it comes to the Big Ten, the Big 12, and then right on down the line for the other conferences. And within them, there are independent people. And we all know they're all not created equal. Like I keep pointing out in this era, Ohio State has 36 varsity sports. Texas has, 22? Alabama has 22, 23 maybe. Georgia, same thing. So they're not even equal when it comes to the structure of their athletic programs. But it should be, in one realm, you should at least get your act together when it comes to football. And so they need to do that first and then go on out to the rest of the group. And you could, because the Big Ten and the SEC are going to hold sway in anything that happens.
Tim, are you going out to Las Vegas at the end of July?
I've got a lot of things going on then. I think I still might be going out there, but I've got a lot of my middle kids. Corey's getting married the end of that week. So a lot of things are going on, but I still may make it out there for a day. Let's put it that way.
Well, it'll be Big Ten.
I do like the south end of the strip down there where Mandalay Bay is. Go ahead.
Big Ten Media Days, July 22nd. Do we have a Michigan decision from the NCAA by then?
I doubt it. I asked about that. I don't know if you remember, but at last year's Big Ten meetings, I asked Sharon more of that in our big interview opportunities, and he just kind of looked at me funny. Do you need to get some clarification, whatever, from the NCAA before moving forward, or when do you expect to get that? And of course, the NCAA was still in the realm of collection of stats or facts and stuff at that point. So, does it really matter? I mean, when you look at the bill that's been proposed, the wacky bill proposed in Ohio about no noon starts, right? Except for the Michigan game.
Right.
I think they were making it for all Division I teams, right? Including the MAC. I mean, the way I read the bill. But now that the proposed legislation in Michigan, where they won't have to abide by almost everything when it comes to the NIL and all that rules, parameters being put down, they get to do their own thing. I mean, fellas, we're living in the strangest of times, really, when it comes to major college sports, especially football. I mean, so to answer your question, I'd be surprised, but usually that would fall in kind of the end of the time frame when the NCAA would let you know what your penalties are. Now, the question is, are you going to declare yourself, what do they call themselves when you get pulled over and you don't have a driver's license or anything else, a sovereign citizen? It sounds like maybe Michigan might declare itself a sovereign citizen. Your rules don't apply to me.
It would be very much of the Michigan man to do something like that. Get the Tim May pod.
They did appear at the final meeting, though, with the NCAA, so that at least they're showing some comradeship there. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say it was good on them for showing, but Charlie Baker didn't make an appearance in that. So if anybody's...
he doesn't necessarily have to be there anyway, so, that's not, Charlie Baker, he isn't necessarily the
adjudicator.
He isn't necessarily the rules maker, but it was interesting. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to plug your podcast, The Tim May Show. You got Matt Wilhelm on this week. Do that wherever it is. Go ahead.
Another one I had on earlier, by the way, is a guy named Jim Cavalli, who outlined what was going to be the case after the NIL stuff, after the House settlement. Because, fellas, we've only just started. There are going to be all kinds of, just like the Michigan legislation, there's going to be all kinds of follow-up lawsuits, et cetera. For what do you mean my guy can't get $500,000 for representing a car dealership? I mean, those suits are coming next. So it's going to be very interesting.
There he is, Tim May. We treasure your friendship, Tim, and your expertise. And he joins us courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Talk to you later, Tim.
You got it, Bo's friends and friend. I enjoy it.
Always happy to have him on. We'll do a little thing or not a thing. Next, Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And while we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Join the free smoothie party at Tropical Smoothie Cafe on Saturday, June 21st for National Smoothie Day. Tropic Rewards members get a free smoothie with bowl or food purchase. Terms and conditions apply.
1877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here, and so are the summer savings at RCD RV. Don't miss RCD RV's summer kickoff sale running June 7th through the 21st. New RVs starting as low as $12,995. Now's the time to make a splash this summer. Hurry in. Those deals will not last long. Find unbeatable savings, unforgettable fun, and everything you need to hit the road at rcdrv.com. Visit our locations, Delaware, Heath, and Pataskala, or shop online anytime at rcdrv.com.
The biggest thriller this summer is blockbuster savings at Coughlin Chevrolet. Lease a new 2025 Chevy Trax for $159 a month. A new 2026 Chevy Equinox, only $259 a month. Or a new 2025 Silverado, lease for $359 a month. This month only at Coughlin Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
36-month lease with $39.99 due at signing, plus tax, title, and license. 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents per mile over. See dealer for details. N63025.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Let's be honest, we could all use a little vacation from the ordinary. But with Tim Hortons' new refreshers, you don't need to pack your bags. Just sip, relax, and enjoy your refreshing 16-ounce vacation. With tropical mango packed with real pineapple and mango pieces. And strawberry watermelon kiwi featuring real pieces of strawberry and kiwi. Also, try it with lemonade or coconut milk. A choose-your-own taste bud adventure. Head to Tim's for the new refreshers. Your 16-ounce vacation awaits. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants.
Going up. Prices keep going up these days. It feels like being on an elevator that only goes up.
Going up.
But not at Metro. We're pushing the down button.
Going down.
We've lowered prices. Get one line of 5G data for $40. Period. That's 20% lower. And you get a free Samsung 5G phone when you bring your number. Only at Metro.
5-year guarantee on eligible plans. Exclusions apply. See website for details. Not available if at Metro with T-Mobile in the past 6 months. Tax applies.
Enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
Excuse me, did someone say jackpot? The Ohio Lottery's Mega Millions jackpot is up to $302 million. You heard that right, $302 million. Jackpots start at $50 million and grow faster than ever. And drawings are every Tuesday and Friday. With the new built-in multiplier, all non-jackpot prizes are multiplied between 2 and 10 times. Play Mega Millions today.
Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to sponsor the Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat fan drive, benefiting Life Care Alliance. You can help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. How can you help? Purchase new box fans and bring them to the nearest Franklin County Fire Station, or you can buy online and ship fans directly to Life Care Alliance. The collection and distribution of fans is to assist residents who are at risk of heat stroke or heat exhaustion. For more information, go to lifecarealliance.org.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Weston Air Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
The friends are the guests and listeners. Reeser and Baker just work here.
Back to work. Back to work. Everybody, work, 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 work.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Yes, you are.
thing or not a thing?
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Baker, I didn't have anything to add, so I just hit the button.
I think that's okay.
Speaking Thursday afternoon after the first round of the Travelers Championship, Wyndham Clark apologized for damaging the locker room at Oakmont last week at the U.S. Open.
You know, I've had a lot of highs and lows in my career, especially this year, some lows. And, you know, I made a mistake that I deeply regret, and I'm very sorry for what happened. But I'd also like to move on, not only for myself, but for Oakmont, for the USGA, and kind of focus on the rest of this year and things that come up. I still want to try to make the Ryder Cup team. I'm on the outside looking in for the FedEx Cup, and so I'm starting to move on and focus on those things.
Clark shot a 6 under in his first round. He'd go at 12-10 today. In the second round, Travelers Championship's going on right now in Connecticut. Scotty Scheffler is your leader, 8 under. He's even through 1 on the day. Austin Eckroat also at 8 under. He'll go at 12-30. Wyndham Clark again, 12-10. Thing or not a thing?
All right, so this is going to get me fired up a little bit because this is a thing. Because if you want to move on, Wyndham Clark, quit doing this. It was just a couple weeks ago you were apologizing because you're throwing your driver at the PGA or whatever it is, and the head snaps off over a sign and almost hits a volunteer there. Like, you don't want people talking about this stuff. Quit doing it. Control your anger. You talk about Scotty Scheffler. He's leading this tournament. I feel like Scotty Scheffler is the best golfer in the world because he is the best at controlling his emotions. If he has a bad hole, he completely moves on from it, and he goes on, and usually he birdies the next hole, and he gets right back to playing golf. You are proving that you are an unstable human here, Wyndham Clark. So if you don't want people asking questions about your behavior, clean up your behavior. We just talked about this with Shador. You don't want to have a problem with speeding tickets that people are talking about? Quit getting them.
Yeah, this is a thing for me, too. I was at the PGA when he threw his club against the sign on the 16th hole, the start of the Green Mile, and I didn't see it happen, but still, like, it's not good. It's not good for the sport. Yeah, golfers get angry. That happens, but this is to a whole nother extent. You're damaging things. You're damaging lockers at a very famous golf course. Like, that just cannot happen.
It's one thing, Jacob, because you mentioned golfers get mad. It's one thing to slam your club into the ground. It's another thing to toss your club. Yeah. Like him just turning around and throwing his club like at the PGA was a little ridiculous. But it's one thing to, toss your club, get mad. But going in a locker room after and destroying a locker room, that's a whole nother level. That's not just, oh, man, I can't believe I just duffed that chip.
Yeah, nope. And I'm sorry, Wyndham, but you're not making the Ryder Cup team. You're too far down the standings behind a bunch of other golfers that are having much better years. Unless you go on to win the Open Championship, which I don't really see happening right now, I don't have the confidence in putting you on the roster to go to Bethpage.
NFL insider Jordan Schultz is reporting the Texans are expected to sign former Ohio State cornerback Damon Arnett following a standout season with the UFL's Houston Roughnecks. Arnett was the 19th overall pick by the Raiders back in 2020. He got some second chances with the Dolphins and with the Chiefs, but he was released by KC in 2023, and he signed with the Roughnecks prior to the 2025 UFL season. He was one of their best players. He had 18 tackles, 1 sack, and a pick six. Thing or not a thing?
I hope this is a thing for Damon Arnett, and it's one of the things we love about sports, right? The redemption story, the second, the third, the fourth chances, and someone finally getting it right. This is a guy who had a great career at Ohio State, obviously had the physical talent and ability to do it on the field. He was a first-round pick, and it just didn't work out for him because of issues off the field. I hope that Damon Arnett has gotten that stuff cleaned up, and I hope that he's ready to be a professional again, and I hope we see him make the Texans and have a decent, successful NFL career. I kind of question if that's the case and that will happen, but I hope so for him. And again, this is why we love sports.
Bake, I'm with you. I love a good redemption story, and I just hope that being in a locker room with some Buckeyes with C.J. Stroud can give him some good vibes to get back and playing some meaningful snaps in the NFL.
It's all about opportunity. And if you got enough talent, you'll keep getting them.
They've got quite a few Reese Buckeyes down there. They've got CJ, they've got Cade Stover, Tommy Togiai is there, Xavier Johnson's down there as well, and all of those Buckeyes that were obviously quality individuals off the field as much as they were on. So you're right. Hopefully some of that will rub off on Arnett.
An NFL general manager former NFL general manager, I should say, has some words for Shador Sanders. And what we learned this week, all coming up next. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
The radio couldn't contain us, so we've taken over YouTube. Catch Morning Juice weekday mornings at 6 by searching 971 The Fan. Do it.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, as Care grew over the years, you had many opportunities to sell Care to one of the big conglomerates that are buying companies all over Central Ohio. So tell our customers why you decided to keep Care in the family.
After talking about Care's values for over 30 years, I couldn't bear the thought of Care becoming the kind of company I was warning our customers about. I know the two of you will continue to treat our customers as I would, with honesty and integrity.
We will, Dad. In 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
A healthy body needs good food. This summer, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is sponsoring Sun Meals, a summer food program where kids eat free. Children under 18 receive healthy meals and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.
This summer, save more with hot deals on Meijer brand must-haves for $2 or less all season long.
Like Meijer potato chips?
Yep.
Hamburger buns?
Of course.
Ketchup?
Absolutely.
How about Meijer lemonade? That's my favorite.
Yep, that too. Plus pickles, baked beans, cheese slices for sandwiches. It's your favorite Meijer brand must-haves for $2 or less all season long.
That's a good deal better.
Only at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Here, care is where you need it. With over 350 primary care providers in Central Ohio, expert care is minutes away. See how we care for all of you at mountcarmelforyou.com.
The Roofing Guys are your locally owned, trusted family business right here in Central Ohio. They've been hammering quality and service through the roof for over 25 years, offering professional services in roofing, siding, gutters, and more. Contact them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover's accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Level up your summer projects with 4th of July savings on top brand cordless power tools from the Home Depot. Whether you're working on a fence, a planter box, or a new workbench, get the power and runtime you need with the Ryobi One Plus 18-volt 2 toolkit from the Home Depot for only $99, was $139. Get 4th of July savings on the cordless power you need to make summer projects easier than ever. Right now at the Home Depot.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. There will be a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. The Pacers forced the series back to Oklahoma City thanks to a 108-91 win last night in Game 6. It's even at 3 games apiece. Pascal Siakam led the Pacers starting 5 with 16 points and 13 rebounds. Tyrese Halliburton scored 14 despite dealing with a calf injury. Game 7 is going to be Sunday night at 8 o'clock. You can hear the NBA Finals right here on The Fan. In golf, Scottie Scheffler shares the lead at 8 under in the second round of the Travelers Championship. The world number 1 is even on the day through 2. Austin Eckroat's also at 8 under. He won't begin his second round until 12:30 today. In baseball Friday, the Reds are at the Cardinals at 7:15, while the Guardians are in Sacramento for a series with the Athletics that'll start at 10:10. This update is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Swimming in debt with rates as low as 8.99% APR. Save your summer with a debt consolidation loan. BMIFCU.org/consolidate.
The final season of Yellowstone might just be Bo's dad live on YouTube. What's the difference anyway? This is Bishop and Friends.
Final hour, the final day of the week. Eric Reeser, Ryan Baker, Jacob Reimer rolling along until noon today. We'll step aside at 11:55-ish. Rothman and Ice will be live at Gigi's Drive for Dogs golf outing. The boys are going to have Jim Tressel at 12:15, Cardell Jones at 1:30. They'll do some chin music with Jensen Lewis at 2:30. So a big program the boys will have on you live. Again, at Gigi's Drive for Dogs golf outing. Those are 2 of Anthony Rothman's favorite things, golf and dogs.
What a day for guests here on The Fan. Tressel, Cardell. We're going to have Zach coming up here at 11:30. Zach Werenski. Talk to him about his experience at the World Championships and winning gold there. This is a heck of a Friday.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous weekend that is on tap in Central Ohio. Right now it's 78 and sunny, and tomorrow high of 90. So for everybody coming out for the inaugural 971 the race in Westerville, it'll be gorgeous. And then Sunday and Monday, temperatures will be in the mid-90s. I think there's a weather alert situation happening from our friends over at 10 TV. Just be careful. It's going to feel like 100 degrees, I think, Sunday and Monday, but
Reese, I got to be honest. That's not beautiful to me.
What is beautiful
90s,
to you weather-wise?
90s is not beautiful to me.
So I'll amend it a little bit.
That's too hot.
We're going to start running at 9 a.m., running, walking. We're going to start to enjoy everybody's company in Westerville at around 8, 9 a.m. It'll be 70 degrees and sunny.
See, I can take that. That's good. I like that. That sounds like San Diego to me. I like that.
Temperatures Saturday will climb into the 90s until in the afternoon. Look at about 4 o'clock for things to hit 90. So.
I have a graduation party to go to Saturday afternoon, and I hope that it's indoors because that sounds way too hot.
Is it high school or college?
High school.
Okay. They're still doing that.
Yeah, I think so.
Again, I'm disconnected from it. Thought they'd been out for like a month.
Oh, well, some people wait sometimes. Okay. I don't know. I thought you meant they still have graduation parties. Well, of course
No, I know they still had the parties. I just thought, as
they were all done by now.
As we are now in the end of June, that I thought, everybody's kind of wrapped those up. And as I see, Ohio State's doing orientation, Ohio University's doing orientation, like it's now on to the next chapter for everybody. A new chapter for Jonathan Toews. He's going to back in the NHL this fall with the Winnipeg Jets. So he last played with the Blackhawks in 2023. And when I saw the news in the last hour, I was like, why is that name so familiar? Because I'm not following Jonathan Toews over the last couple of years? Well, it's because he's been out of the league. Does this do anything for you, hockey expert of record?
So if you're a hockey fan, sure, Jonathan Toews is a big deal. Won 3 cups with the Chicago Blackhawks, was the leader of those teams, a heck of a captain, a heck of a two-way centerman for the Blackhawks. I do think this does something if he can come back and be, any kind of form of the player he was. He's missed the past couple of seasons because of what they've said have been symptoms of long COVID. He got COVID and never kind of really gotten over it, and that's kind of kept him out of the league the past couple of years. You've heard rumors all year that maybe this was coming, and the Jets seem like a perfect team because they're a team that obviously has a number 1 center with Mark Scheifele. They've been right there as one of the best teams in the league. One of the things they haven't had is a number 2 center. We know they had Pierre-Luc Dubois for a while, and then he ends up out in L.A. He wasn't happy with that. Wow. Yeah, and just pretty... they've been trying to get a number 2 center for a long time, and if he can come back and be, 80% of the player he was at 37, that will fill a big need for them.
So forgot about Jonathan Toews. Forgot also about Pierre-Luc Dubois, who plays for the Washington Capitals. What a journey it's been for him. Brad Marchand, if you were at a Dairy Queen or at a place you get your favorite ice cream and they have a drive-thru and you rolled your window down and then the doors open from the restaurant and there's Brad Marchand handing you an ice cream cone. Would you throw it back into his face, or would you be like, oh, my goodness, there's Stanley Cup champion Brad Marchand?
Well, I will tell you that I would not because, I'm one of the rare people that love Brad Marchand. He's a guy that I've always thought was the type of player, the guy that the Blue Jackets needed, a pest, but a pest that produce. The Blue Jackets have a lot of pests in their time, but never a top-line pest. So I love Brad Marchand. I know most people don't. I love him.
The cool thing about our show is we get listeners from everywhere, whether it be South Florida or even in Austria. In Sunrise today at a Dairy Queen, Brad Marchand's going to be handing out blizzards. He's actually doing that right now. So if you're listening in South Florida and you want to try the Brad Blizzard, that'll be available for you at Dairy Queen. A Dairy Queen.
Nobody's throwing the blizzard at him. They may throw some rats, like the Florida Panthers started shooting rats at Brad Marchand after wins, but nobody's throwing the blizzard back at Brad Marchand in Florida.
What is the Brad Blizzard?
I have to find out exactly what that is. I was trying to look in the break. Like, this shows you kind of where my head's at, or instead of preparing for an update or preparing for the third hour of the program, I was trying to find exactly what the Brad Blizzard was. So if you can get on that, we'll have everybody on it for at least the end of the program, maybe provide you what that is.
Something I learned this week. There's a Brad Marchand Blizzard.
A couple things we learned this week.
1, 2.
That's the wrong button.
We're not trying to do too much around here, but over the course of 5 days, you might have gleaned some stuff. Bishop and Friends present What We've Learned This Week.
All right, so I gleaned that the Florida Panthers are a dynasty. 3 straight Stanley Cup Finals appearances. They've won the last 2. It was Sam Bennett last night at a nightclub saying he's coming back to South Florida. They've got some other moves that the Panthers need to make that you think they're likely going to lock in guys. The aforementioned Brad Marchand will be a free agent. But if they are able to retain that core, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. And so I was wondering, as we were talking before the show today, what would actually make this a true dynasty for the Florida Panthers if, in fact, it is not one now?
So maybe this is a modern sports dynasty, right? They've been to 3 straight. They've won 2 of them. Maybe this is the closest we will get to a dynasty in sports again. I don't know. I mean, we've had the Kansas City Chiefs recently. I would consider what they've done here a dynasty. I don't know. I've always kind of felt like if you could win 3, maybe 3 and 4 years, you become one. It's going to be really interesting to see, Reese, what these Panthers do, because Sam Bennett's due a big raise. Will they keep Aaron Ekblad? And those are 2 guys. Obviously, Sam Bennett won the Conn Smythe, 15 goals in the playoffs. If they're not a dynasty, they're very, very close. And if they can do it again next year, I think they definitely are.
All right, so I've also learned that the Brad Blizzard is a chocolate chirp cookie dough blizzard.
Okay.
Which I would hope for maybe more, but, chocolate chip cookie dough, like little cookie dough nuggets and vanilla ice cream. Or no, this is chocolate This is chocolate chip cookie dough in chocolate ice cream, or whatever Dairy Queen is ice cream. Whatever they put in the Blizzard. That is the Brad Blizzard.
I mean, it sounds good.
Sounds delicious.
I think I would enjoy it.
I guess I'm one of those guys that would, when you have like a promotion like that, maybe you're putting like Reese's Cups in there, or Reese's Pieces. Maybe something a little bit more.
I'm a big fan of the Reese Cup Blizzard, extra Reese Cup.
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, chocolate chip cookie dough, chocolate chirp again, because the chirp is the important part of this, as he is one of the ultimate chirpers in hockey, one of the guys that you love to have on your team, but hate actually playing against. You would put this, Baker, into the show sheet, but J.C. Sheldon is tough.
I didn't know she had that in her game.
I didn't either, and I'm here for it. I think if you got a player like Caitlin Clark, you have the unenviable task of defending, you're going to have to put a hand in the face. And sometimes the hand in the face might go into the eye. Now, was she doing a Ric Flair eye poke? No. But she was playing as scrappy of defense as you can possibly ask a basketball player to play against someone that's hitting logo threes in the regular.
And I guess when I say I didn't know she had that in her game, I actually was somebody who worked a lot of women's basketball games while J.C. Sheldon was at Ohio State. I knew she had that defense and the physical defense in her. What I didn't know is she had the scrappiness after the play.
Yep.
Hey,
you're not backing down.
I'm going to go body up Caitlin after I just poked her in the eye. And then when Sophie Cunningham takes me down, I'm going to get right back up and in her face. I did not realize JC had that in her, because when you meet JC Sheldon, she's literally like the nicest human you've ever met. She's just such a great person. And it was kind of nice to see JC's got a little of the mean streets in her.
I think everyone loves the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, but it was really J.C. Shelton and Caitlin Clark that's been brewing for years, since their days in the Big Ten.
So J.C. Sheldon, dogging her, confirmed, if there were questions going into this week. I also didn't have a problem with Sophie Cunningham's hard foul on her.
No.
Because that's why I think you bring in a player, that, like you have to bring in enforcers to help defend Caitlin Clark. And so in the moment of it's a foul, it's a hard foul, probably deserved the ejection. But if you're a teammate, if you're on a team and you see your teammate getting what you think is bullied, then yeah, if my job is to enforce, I'm going to enforce.
I do think it's interesting, and it's kind of a double standard. Not all of us have, but some of us have with sports. Like, we see that in a men's basketball game, and we're like, oh, well, that's fine. No big deal. Just physical, tough. But then we see it in a women's game, and it's like, oh, my gosh, what is this? And I'm guilty of this a little bit in UFC. Like, I love watching UFC, and I'll see two dudes bang on each other, and it's like, oh, this is great. And I see you smirking there a little bit with my choice of words.
I'm really having a tough time here.
Then I see a female just getting beat up, and I'm like, oh, that's tough to watch sometimes. And I don't know why that is. I think it's just the protective nature in us. Sure. We don't want to see a female get hit and punched and beat on like that. But why do we want to see a guy? I don't know. It's just something there. But I actually love it. I love it. And I think that's great for the WNBA. And Caitlin Clark, we've already talked about. She is a needle mover, a needle driver. And to see her have these rivalries with an Angel Reese, with a J.C. Sheldon, rivalries are what makes sports. And this is what we need in sports. We got to have people to root for and people to root against.
To your point, I am tired of everybody playing nice. Like, let's have some disdain. Let's have some dislike in our sports, in all of our sports, because I think that just makes it much more interesting. Because I was spending so much time trying to figure out what the Brad Blizzard was, I forgot to pay off on the ex-NFL general manager and his comments for Shador, who Mr. Sanders is lighter in the wallet. Could he find himself at training camp lighter in quarterback reps? It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
When you're a AAA member, we do the hard stuff for you. So picture this. You're taking a road trip through the mountains at night, and you run out of gas. Do you, A, call AAA, or B, walk 29 miles to the nearest gas station in the pouring rain?
A?
On the plus side, get more with AAA. Go to AAA.com/plus side.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Hi, this is Bob Masheter from Dick Masheter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at masheterford.net. Thanks.
When sudden illness or injury strike, Ohio State offers 3 types of urgent care to meet any of your needs. From traditional urgent care to our specialized orthopedic urgent care for activity-related injuries and advanced urgent care for more serious injury and illness. Ohio State's experts treat everything from broken bones to ear infections and colds and flu. When your illness or injury can't wait, the choice is clear.
Save big money on your outdoor project at Menards. We make landscaping simple with our free, easy-to-use design program and step-by-step project guides. Plus, Menards has the largest in-stock selection of concrete landscape block at the best prices. Save big on everything when you shop at Menards. Visit us in-store or on Menards.com to see our full selection of landscape blocks and get your outdoor project started today.
Save big money at Menards.
With over 33 years in business, Newman Roofing believes white glove services shouldn't be a thing of the past. From the first call, you'll be greeted with friendly professionals to answer all your questions. Special financing options available now, so call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com.
After an audit of our programming, the suits here at The Fan decided we needed more baseball. And that common man is stupid. Good news, we fixed one of those problems. Catch the Reds on The Fan all season long. Yay, baseball!
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Tomorrow.
No matter where they're from, what they look like, or who they or their parents love, all students need safe, welcoming learning environments that embrace them for who they are, regardless of race, background, gender, ability, or anything else. Ohio's public school educators are dedicated to the well-being and potential of all students, no exceptions.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at some sunshine, but some clouds this afternoon with highs around 85. And then heading into the weekend, we're tracking the heat. More sunshine with highs near 90 here on Saturday, but mid-90s starting on Sunday with a weather impact alert issued here for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with mid-90s in the forecast and heat index values near 100 here next week. I'm meteorologist Aaron White with your 10 weather impact forecast here on 97.1 The Fan.
All the Ohio State conversation you can handle. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Your Ohio State flagship station. The Fan. Distilled sports discussion. Served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Reeser Baker Reimer on this Friday edition of the program. We had talked earlier in the show about Shador Sanders, Browns rookie quarterback, getting cited twice in 12 days for speeding. Excessive speeds on June 17th of 100 miles per hour, 41 over the speed limit. And that was earlier this week. And so it was like at 12:41 where he was cited for that. And then, as what happens with any player, any person of note, when they get their name put into a police database, then everybody starts to check everybody else. And in Northeast Ohio, everybody's looking through police records, trying to find out if this is in fact not the first time that Sanders has been cited or has been pulled over for speeding. They found on June 5th that he was pulled over for going 91 in a 65. Along with that initial citation back on June 5th, he was supposed to appear in court this past Monday. He did not do that. He was supposed to pay a fine of $269. He did not do that. Now, I'm no lawyer, no legal expert, and Jess asks in the YouTube chat, since he failed to appear, they could issue a warrant for his arrest unless he requested a continuance. I would assume that would mean he had to have I would assume he has legal counsel, and then I would assume that he would send that legal representative to the court case or to court Monday and to pay the fine. But the fact that none of this has been done is concerning a month out from training camp, and concerning that it's happened twice in the span of 12 days, and concerning that he's a fifth-round pick who could probably be cut for less. Now, Mike Tannenbaum, former NFL general manager, was on Get Up this morning, and he'd said, quote, when we bring him in as a head coach or the quarterback, and you're the most important employee of a $6 billion enterprise, and how you handle things on and off the field matter. It's not the end of the road, but let me bring you into what typically happens at this time of the year. You set your roster, your initial sort of reps for training camp. If you're sitting there in Cleveland and they're saying that Dylan Gabriel is a third-round pick, he's done well. Shador Sanders has done well on the field, but he's had these two issues off the field, albeit minor. They'll give more reps to Dylan Gabriel. End quote. Which, yeah, that's what Shador sets himself up for, going into camp where he was already at best third on that depth chart.
And we talked about this earlier in the show, right? If all things are equal between not just Dylan and Shador, but let's just go Dylan and Shador. If all things are equal with them on the field, Dylan Gabriel is going to get the opportunity first because he was the higher draft pick. So Shador was already behind in that aspect. So he was going to have to be better than Dylan Gabriel to get more reps, to get on to climb higher on the depth chart than him. Now you throw these issues in there as well. And again, they're not the end of the world. They're pretty bad speeding tickets, right? Like, I think if you're 20 miles an hour over, it's considered reckless op. These are both over that. These are 30 miles an hour over, and these are 41 miles an hour over. So these are pretty bad speeding tickets. Also, it just looks bad when you get one. You haven't even gone to court for it yet, and you get another one. Like, it just is poor judgment. And again, these are speeding tickets. Yep. They're bad speeding tickets, but compared to other things he could have done, that's not bad. We're not saying Shador is a bad guy for doing this.
No.
But just on the field, if things are equal, this is going to affect you. It makes you have to be even better than you had to be.
Yeah, and Rusty says in the YouTube chat, that's going to be the best offensive drive the Browns have had all year in relation to the police cam over one of his speeding tickets. And he's cruising in a truck. Dan says this is the biggest nothing into something ever. Dan, I would argue that the first one, that yesterday, when he had the initial one, or what was thought to be the initial one, yeah, you're ready to address it and say, hey, you can't have another one of these because then it devolves into pattern behavior. And then, yeah, you're ready to move on. But then once digging was done and you found out that this was the second one in 2 weeks, then I would say concern is justified.
And I believe we kind of handled it like that on the show yesterday.
I wanted to.
Like, we didn't talk a ton about it. We said it was a mistake. You know, it's a bad look, but move on. But now there's two. And there's this court appearance with, like we said, there should have been legal representation there, right?
Something.
I mean, the Sanders family has lawyers. There's no doubt about that. So it's just at the quarterback position, judgment and is such a critical part of that position.
Got to make good choices.
And when you show bad judgment in other areas, it does affect the perception of you on the field, whether it's right or wrong.
Yeah, and watching the body cam of one of the arrests, he's very polite with the officer. Like, from everything that he's done outwardly, he's a wonderful human being. And I want him to succeed because I want wonderful people to succeed. But you're getting in your own way with a month before training camp. And to Mike Tannenbaum's point, they're going to, if they haven't already, shifted more reps to Dylan Gabriel because he's the rookie that they can trust. Right? He's the rookie that they don't have to worry about at 12:41 on a Tuesday morning.
And listen, these were things we never heard about or thought of with Shador. You better believe there are people already that are out there looking to see if there are incidents that have happened in Colorado now.
Yeah.
At Jackson State. Yeah. There are people looking into this now. It's just stuff, it's just a distraction you don't need.
I would love, to Dan's point, have this not be discussed ever again. And when it comes to Shador Sanders, the only thing you address with him is how he performs at training camp, how he looks in a Browns uniform throwing passes with training camp, just that being the sole focus. That's what I would like this to be, not only as a Browns fan, but as a person who likes to see people who I think are good succeed. What I was going to do this segment was ask you guys, with the NBA Finals having one more game left, Game 7 between the Pacers and the Thunder, that'll be Sunday night in OKC at 8 o'clock. What's the one sporting event you're looking forward to next?
Now, there could be a part of me that would say the British Open, but I know the British Open, I don't know. I guess I believe the British Open is the week that I'm on vacation, and I'm in Florida, so I will not be paying attention to that at all. So I guess the next big thing that I'm really looking into is training camp for Ohio State, right? The beginning of August, and we start doing shows out there, and you start hearing, Lincoln Keenhol's got more reps today than Julian Sayin. Is he ahead in the quarterback depth chart? Wait a second, Julian looked better today. Maybe it's his now. I mean, that's the thing we're really waiting for, I believe.
Yeah. Jacob, where are you?
I've got two. One, the Open for sure. There's only a few times in the year where I love a 4 o'clock alarm, and that's to get up and watch the British Open.
He's sick. He's got a sickness, right?
I've got an even sicker answer then for my next one, and it's the NBA Summer League. Watching these college guys get an opportunity.
That is somewhat demented.
Wow.
To your vacation point, Baker, I was going to ask, if you are on vacation, how many of the days do you actually sleep in for? Like, say you've had a couple pops the night before, and, it's 7 in the morning. Are you up, right? Or can you sleep till noon?
So I probably could, depending on how late I was up, but on vacation, very rarely do I sleep in, because one of my favorite things is all of the guys go get breakfast together. So I usually on vacation get up at 6, go for a walk on the beach, then 7:30, we're in the lobby to go to breakfast. Now, when I get back from breakfast, maybe I'll take a nap, maybe I won't. But
that's what vacation's for. But I was just wondering, when you're at breakfast or when you're trying to get everybody ready to go to breakfast, that's going to be on. You're going to have live sports to watch in the morning. And by live sports, I mean the British Open.
And I can't remember if it's the weekend we're there or the weekend we're leaving. So, yeah, like Thursday, Friday, maybe you'll turn it on. Saturday, we're getting ready to leave. So, and then you're back Sunday. You're probably not waking up early for it then, although I'm pretty sure I'll be here for the call-in show. So maybe.
It'll be eventful, to say the least. An eventful season, an eventful offseason will lead into what's going to be a very exciting 2025 into 2026 for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Defenseman Zach Werenski will join us in 2 minutes. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
Road trip!
This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings, because you're driving to Paris,
Texas!
Then it's off to Rome,
Georgia!
And you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio!
Right now, save up to $434 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
Many drugs, like cocaine, methamphetamine, and non-prescription pills, are often cut with dangerous opioids like fentanyl. As a result, nearly 14 Ohioans die daily from unintentional overdoses. That's why it's important to carry naloxone, such as Narcan, a life-saving medication that blocks the effects of fentanyl and other opioids. Over the last 5 years, naloxone has saved over 83,000 lives. Help save lives and visit naloxone.ohio.gov to learn more and find free naloxone. Remember, if you see an overdose occurring, always call 911.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge. Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover's accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Eric Reeser, Ryan Baker rolling along on a Friday. A gorgeous day in Central Ohio. It'll be a gorgeous weekend in the capital city of the Buckeye State. And we go out now to the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Privileged to be joined by Zach Werenski, defenseman for your Columbus Blue Jackets. Zach, thanks so much for giving us the time today. I was pretty thrilled to hear, and this is probably my fault not paying a ton of attention into the NHL players being allowed back into Olympic play. But as Team USA, as Latvia announced their first 5 for their Olympic rosters, it got me excited with that possibility. I'm sure you guys, as NHLers, are pretty thrilled to be joining the Olympic fray. What's it been like for you just kind of processing all of that?
Yeah, it's exciting. I think I got my first taste of best on best at the Four Nations, but obviously the Olympics is a whole new level and something I've never experienced before. So I'm going to work this summer and hopefully be on that team next winter. But definitely exciting for USA, definitely exciting for hockey in general. I think whenever you can have best on best, it just helps grow the game, and especially on the Olympic level. So we're thrilled to be back. And like I said, hopefully I'm on that team next year.
Zach, you've had a great year playing for Team USA in the Four Nations and then at the World Championships winning gold. I want to ask you about the World Championships here in a second, but I know you spent a little time in Europe afterwards enjoying your summer. What was your favorite part of your time over in Europe after the World Championships?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a favorite. I feel like every spot was so different. It was pretty long. I was ready to come home by the end of it. I think in total I was over there for just under 6 weeks, including the World Championships. So I really liked Egypt. Obviously, it's a different city, but the pyramids were sweet. I loved Istanbul. We were in Greece for a wedding, which was fun because all my buddies were there. But, yeah, I mean, everything was so different. Switzerland's awesome. So we went to some cool spots, saw some cool cultures, and happy to be home now.
Zach, speaking of the World Championships, at first it sounded like you weren't going to play. Then you ended up joining the squad. I think they had played 3 games, and then you ended up in the lineup with them. You guys win gold. Talk a little bit first about the decision and finally going over there and playing with Team USA, and then just what that experience was like winning gold for your country.
Yeah, I always wanted to go when the season ended. Just a really busy summer with weddings and trips and bachelor parties. And I was trying to find time to make it work to, for me to go over there and play. And very thankful to USA Hockey to allow me to show up a few days late. That was a big reason why I could go. But yeah, no, it was an incredible experience. This is my 3rd World Championship. The first 2 we lost in the quarters. So I've never even had a chance to play for a medal. And I feel like for me, just being in that environment, playing those important games, and obviously winning the gold medal, it's huge, right? It's something I'll always look back on, and it's something the U.S. hasn't done in 92, 93 years. So just really proud of our group over there, and honored to be a part of it.
Zach, with kind of the world traveling that you've been doing, did you have a chance to catch any of the Stanley Cup final? And what'd you make of Florida winning it again? And did you have a chance maybe to text or chat with Bob or Seth Jones?
Yeah, I didn't really watch too much. I think just with time change, most of the games were on at like 2, 3 in the morning over in Europe. A few of the games actually that went to overtime, I'd wake up at like 7 a.m. and they were still on, so I'd watch those. But I watched the final Game 6. I watched all the recaps. Obviously, I keep track of it, but it just seems like they're by far and away the best team in the league, and I think they showed that for a number of years now. And just really happy for those guys, especially Jonesy. Obviously, he was in Chicago in a tough situation to get traded to Florida and go win a cup. He's a guy I'm close with, a great teammate and a great friend of mine. And I texted him a little bit after. I'm sure his phone's blowing up, so I haven't really, spent too much time talking to him. But in the coming weeks, I'll give him a call and just hear how it was.
We'll try and speak it into existence. Zach, do you ever think to yourself, like, what would my day look like if I spent it with the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, I think about it all the time, to be honest. It's one of those things where I'm very motivated to win one. I think after seeing your friends do it, ex-teammates, it's one of those things where you get extra motivation. And, I want to bring one to Columbus. I think it'd be a very special day, obviously for the city, for our fans, for our organization, but especially for guys like me and Booner that have been there for a while and kind of gone through it all. So I think that just gives me extra motivation, and it's one of those things where you can never guarantee something like a Stanley Cup, but we're going to do everything we can to work towards it.
Speaking with Columbus Blue Jackets defenseman Zach Werenski is joining us on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Zach, you mentioned Boone there. You're a part of the leadership group with Boone on this Jackets team. A big couple weeks coming up here for the Jackets as the draft starts a week from today. Free agency gets underway July 1st, and I think a lot of people expect the Blue Jackets to possibly be involved in some moves here with the great season you guys just had, getting so close. As part of that leadership group, how much does management and Don Waddell and Dean Evison, how much do they talk to you guys about possible moves, what needs to be done with this franchise moving forward?
Well, they haven't talked to me. I don't know if they talked to Booner, so I won't speak on his behalf, but I feel like it's one of those things where I don't really want to be talked to about it, I guess. I trust Don, I trust Dean, I trust our management that they're going to do what's best for our club. And for me, it's just focusing on next year and get ready to be the best player I can be. So, I haven't talked to them about what the plan is. I'm sure they're well aware of what we need and what we have to do. If they were to call me and ask, I'd for sure give them my input on it, but I trust them, and I think they're going to do the best thing for our club. So I'm excited to see what happens, and I'm honestly just really excited to get back in the fall and get going again.
Zach, I was interested to ask about Caden Lindstrom, who the Jackets picked up last year, is going to be spending this season at Michigan State. And I wondered if you'd had any conversation with him about that, but just how different college athletics, how that landscape is now, where Caden, instead of playing again at the junior level in Canada or spending some time in the AHL, is going to choose probably, in your opinion, the wrong school in the mitten, but going to Michigan State, having the opportunity to earn money, name, image, and likeness, but all still be pretty connected to the club in Columbus. Like, how much of that have you really dove into or had any conversations with Caden about?
Yeah, I talked to him about it throughout the year a little bit. Obviously, he was around all season. When it came, time for him to choose a school, that's totally up to him and his decision. But I feel like going the college route is going to be great for him. I feel like with him, pretty much missing a full season this year, having the back injury, I think going to college, having less games, more time to work out, more time to work on your health. I think that's what's best for him. And at the end of the day, would I have liked him to go to Michigan? Sure, but I care about him as a Blue Jacket and his future here, and I feel like he's in great hands over at State, and just really excited for him to have a full season again, have a full summer, and see what he can do. He's a big body, and we're excited for him in Columbus.
Zach, coming off the year you guys had where you guys beat a lot of people outside the organization's expectations for you guys, pushing to that for that playoff spot till the end, seeing the young guys have the great year that they did. Does that make this offseason a little more exciting than the past couple?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, I think it's one of those things, like I said, where you can't really get caught up in the offseason and what's going to happen. You just have to focus on being the best player you can be, having the best summer you can have. I think no matter what happens, if we make moves, if we don't, trades, whatever it is, we have a good culture there. We have a good group of guys, and we want to build on that. And I think, the most exciting thing, like I said earlier, is just, looking forward to the fall and getting back there with our teammates and just building on it. Like I said, we have a special thing going in Columbus, and that's the most exciting thing is just getting back with the guys. And if we add some pieces, great. And if not, we're going to raise our standards and expectations and hopefully make the playoffs next year.
Now, Zach, I know that you're local and several other guys are as well, but just during the summer months before you get in any workouts on the ice or in the gym, do you guys just get together to hang out and catch up?
Not really. No, I mean, most guys go back home. I'm actually back home in Michigan right now. I'll be back in Columbus most of July. I'll come back to Michigan in August, but we'll play some golf when the season ends. We'll hang out. We have group text going. I train with Fantilli in the summer, so I see him a bunch, but it's more so just keeping track of guys and texting guys through texts and snaps and whatever. And, we're a close group, and I'm actually getting married in Columbus, so a lot of the guys will be back in town for that, and it'll be a good week to just hang out with everyone and catch up. But we got a close group, so I talk to a lot of guys all the time, and I'm just really excited to see everyone again.
Zach, you mentioned training with Fantilli. I know you guys are always working out throughout the off season, so you're always staying ready. But about what time do you start ramping things up and really trying to get back in that hockey shape to get ready for the year in training camp?
Pretty much right away, to be honest. When the season ended, I started working out and skating just in case I went to Worlds, and then once Worlds ended, obviously I was in Europe, but I started my summer program of working out, and right when I got home this past Monday, I got back on the ice and working on some skills and stuff like that. But I guess it really ramps up come like end of July, August. I know we have Olympic camp this year in August here in Michigan, so that's something to look forward to. And but yeah, we have a good group of guys here that push each other, and there's always ice available, always good skates. So guys are skating 3-4 times a week, starting pretty much middle of June. So it's an exciting group to be around.
Well, Zach, we're excited for the future of this organization. We're excited for you and to have you a part of it, and we're appreciative of the time you gave us this morning. Enjoy the rest of the summer. Congratulations, and enjoy the wedding. And we'll look forward to having you back in Columbus before the season gets going, bud.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks,
there
Zach.
we go. Zach Werenski, Jackets defenseman on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. We'll do 3 things next. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Join the free smoothie party at Tropical Smoothie Cafe on Saturday, June 21st for National Smoothie Day. Tropic Rewards members get a free smoothie with bowl or food purchase. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616. Common Man here. Let me tell you something. I'm on these Germain inter-office emails. At Germain Lexus, during the month of June, they've challenged themselves to sell more cars than they ever have in 1 month. What does that mean? Well, I'm stupid, but to me, that means they're willing to deal, baby. And the memorial cars are on the lot. The ones the golfers drive for the tournament are now available to you. I've been a Germain customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
A healthy body needs good food. This summer, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is sponsoring Sun Meals, a summer food program where kids eat free. Children under 18 receive healthy meals and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. There are a lot lot of window companies out there, so why choose Universal Windows Direct? Let me tell you. First of all, I told you so. Also, you can get payments as low as $99 a month or no payments and no interest for an entire year. That gives you a full year to enjoy the comfort, savings, and curb appeal before you ever make a payment. Schedule your free assessment today, 614-502-5220, or go to universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Excuse me, did someone say jackpot? The Ohio Lottery's Mega Millions jackpot is up to $302 million. You heard that right, $302 million. Jackpots start at $50 million and grow faster than ever. And drawings are every Tuesday and Friday. With the new built-in multiplier, all non-jackpot prizes are multiplied between 2 and 10 times. Play Mega Millions today. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle in Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Trust. It's something we all value, but also something that's hard to earn, especially when it comes to your home. In a city like Columbus with so many contractors to choose from, how do you know who to trust with one of your biggest investments? At Newman Roofing, we believe trust starts with character and continues with consistent results. As a family-owned and operated company, we built our reputation on hiring good people, value-driven professionals who treat your home with the same care and respect they'd give their home. Our team is committed to delivering a true white glove experience. That means paying attention to the details, communicating clearly, and doing the job right the first time. We use only the highest quality products, installed with precision and backed by proven techniques. That's how we ensure you'll feel confident not just today, but for years to come. And we don't just ask you to take our word for it. With over 770 five-star reviews on Google, you can read story after story from homeowners just like you who trusted Newman Roofing and had their expectations exceeded. When it comes to roofing, gutters, or siding, call the local company built around family, values, and integrity. Newman Roofing. Call today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
Our thanks to Jackets defenseman Zach Werenski for joining us in the last segment. Our thanks to Tim May for joining us at 10:30. Both of those interviews are available at 971BFS. The podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts. The Daily Fan Poll is sponsored by Caster Connection, and I'm going to steal it from Nate because someone this morning didn't post the Daily Fan Poll, but I'll come up with one. Again, sponsored by Caster Connection. Would you rather Blizzard or milkshake? 100% of respondents say Blizzard. What's the second respondent say?
That's so hard because I love them both.
Well, you got to pick one.
I think I'm going to go Blizzard, but man, it's hard.
100% of respondents say Blizzard.
Milkshake.
Blizzard as well.
100% of respondents right now to the Daily Fan Poll, which I'm not going to post. So you can just let us know in the comments of YouTube. Would you rather have, a Blizzard or a milkshake?
There you go. Somebody.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, somebody earlier, I think it was Dan the Man, said something about an Oreo Blizzard with a hot dog in it. I don't even understand that.
I think
that doesn't make any sense. That's not true.
A Blizzard and a hot dog. Like, you could eat the hot dog and then have the Blizzard as dessert. That seems fine. Like, Dairy Queen's actually got really good chicken fingers. I don't know if you've had their tendies before, but pretty good.
I can't confirm. They are very good.
They make decent fast food. Or Dairy Queen cake.
The ice cream cake?
Ice cream cakes.
Get the little cupcakes.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
Oh? Yeah, I've not had Dairy Queen cupcakes.
It's basically just an ice cream. It's in a little cup thing, and then you got what's in the ice cream cake.
Might have to get.
It's a smaller version of an ice cream big cake.
Might have to get DQ this weekend.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
Sounds like a post-race treat tomorrow, Reese.
That's my first thing. I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody out there tomorrow for our inaugural 971 The Race. This has been a couple years in the making. With our great friends and partners at M3S Sports, we've put together a 1 mile, 1 run, walk, a 5K, and a 971K that I'm going to be doing about 6 miles in uptown Westerville. So thanks to the folks in Westerville, thanks to Audubon for allowing us to do this tomorrow. It's going to be gorgeous weather. We're going to have plenty of water for everybody to stay hydrated. We're going to have stuff for the finish, Jets Pizza, Panera, Go Brewing, if you're a fan of NA beers, which I actually am a fan of. It's going to be an awesome time. So we're still accepting registrations. So if you want to come out tomorrow morning, everything starts at 9. But if you live in that area and you see people start to trickle in about 7, 7:30, 8 o'clock, please just come out and join us. We'll be out there past noon. So if you're looking for something to do, 971 The Race, Uptown Westerville, tomorrow morning.
I will make that my first thing then. Good luck to you tomorrow, sir. Tyvis Bone, Adam King in his suit, everybody, all the fans out there that are participating in 971 The Race. Hopefully all you guys and Common Man and everybody that's out there have a great time and enjoy it. I know how much work that you and Bone have put into this, so I hope it is a sterling success for you guys.
First thing for me, I would like permission to become an Indiana Pacers fan now after they played during the game last night a scene from Hoosiers where Gene Ackman is getting the guys in the locker room all fired up, and then all the players start clapping in unison while the entire crowd started clapping with them. And I got chills the whole time watching it. So I love it.
I'm going to make this my second thing because I think I am rooting for the Pacers in Game 7.
Yes.
Despite still being salty, they punked the Cavaliers in the second round. I think it was OKC in Game 5 maybe that brought out Red Panda. So if they do that in Game 7 with a sold-out environment, they'll all have their coordinated shirts. That's going to be a scene. And I'm looking forward to it Sunday at 8 o'clock. But there's still a lot of fun to be had this weekend to get to between now and then.
You guys are rooting against my bank account. I don't like that. My second thing, there is a video that is kind of circulating on social media. It's 150 Amish men in New York. They literally pick up a barn, a whole barn intact, and they walk it. And it takes them about 5 minutes. So this thing is in the air. They're all holding it, walk it to a new spot on the property where they have a brand new concrete pad poured where they sit the barn down. It's pretty stinking amazing. And it just goes to show you, sometimes in life, we overcomplicate things. All you need is a little hard work, some strength, and some real good friends.
And
you can get
149 of your closest friends. And you can move anything.
Second thing for me, I mentioned earlier the NBA Summer League. The NBA draft is next week. I will be putting out a bunch of draft content prior to breaking down some players and some potential picks. So just wanted to plug that and put that out there.
Cooper Flagg, he's going number 1. Who's number 2?
It should be Dylan Harper. I would be shocked if the Spurs don't take Dylan Harper.
Of that dynamite Rutgers team.
Yes.
Because Ace Bailey said no thanks to Philadelphia.
Yeah, and he is plummeting, it sounds like. His stock is going down.
I felt as soon as he said that, like, that's him doing a pretty good job. Like, I don't want to play for you guys.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are idiots.
He wants to get his shots up, apparently.
I'll make that my third thing, actually, to our college basketball resident, Jacob Reimer, our basketball expert, now that Timmy Hall is on vacation. Should the Sixers trade the 3rd overall pick and get Kevin Durant?
Oh, okay. I did not know that was where that question was going. If it's for Kevin Durant, I think
Hell yeah. Hell
yes. Yeah. But
Trust the process.
I still feel like it's going to be tough to pass up a Trey Johnson who is a walking bucket at 3.
I'm just in it for the entertainment purposes.
I mean, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, it would probably be a show.
And Paul George.
Third thing for me, there was another fan incident with a player last night. Pittsburgh Pirates relief pitcher Dennis Santana is seen kind of jumping up and swinging at a fan. Now, obviously, we don't know the whole content of what happened, what was said, what the fan did. But as fans, let's just do better, please. You're not entitled to say certain things to these players. You're not entitled to go into their field of space, their workplace. If these guys came into your home or your workplace and invaded on what you were doing, you wouldn't like it. Don't do the same to them. And again, you're not entitled to say whatever you want to them. This is not social media where you can say what you want and not get punched in the face. Just stop. Be better.
I love how you're just tapping the papers as you say that.
It's passion right there.
Yeah, I love it. I love that. Third thing, Rothman and Ice up next with AR and Scotty Vegas out at the GG's Drive for Dogs golf outing at Cumberland Trails. Beautiful golf course. Sounds like they're going to have a fun time out there.
How are they going to do a radio show on a golf course? Like, you're going to have to wrangle them. Like, who's out there wrangling Rothman and Scotty Vegas to actually come on the air? Because they've got Jim Tressel at 12:15, Cardell Jones at 1:30. So you better be in position when the Senator's ready to do a broadcast.
Jim Tressel will take care of it. He'll keep them in line.
Like you heard, Rothman and Ice coming up next. We are back Monday, Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 6 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
If you're trying to get through your daily activities and you're noticing you can't because you're focusing more on your pain than being able to enjoy the moment, those are the patients that we're looking to treat because we can make a difference.
That's Dr. Ashley Caravelli, a medical director for QC Kinetics.
What we're doing at QC Kinetics is offering treatments that help with joint preservation. We use cutting-edge technology in our in-house lab to harness your body's natural healing powers and target the areas where you need them the most.
These are regenerative, non-surgical treatments, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader, delivering lasting relief to tens of thousands of patients.
What we do know is that the sooner we start treatment, the sooner you'll see relief.
So don't wait another minute. See if you're a good candidate for these non-surgical treatments for joint pain. The consultation is completely free.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Summer's heating up, and so are the deals at Germain Toyota of Columbus. Whether you're cruising to the lake or hauling your weekend gear, Germain, well, they've got the truck to help you get it done. Right now, get 2.99 APR for up to 72 months on the rugged 2024 Tacoma, or step up to the powerful 2025 Tundra, also 2.99 for 72 months. These summer savings, they won't last forever. So visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or online at germaintoyota.net.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through HIMS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to HIMS.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
Broadcast